I stand before you today with only remorse and a conscience burdened by the weight of my actions. I confess to you, openly and without reservation, that I have indeed conspired with Goldstein, betraying the trust of our society and the principles upon which it stands. In the darkness of my own doubts and fears, I succumbed to the seductive whispers of dissent. I allowed myself to be swayed by the allure of rebellion, blinded to the consequences of my choices. I shared secrets, exchanged messages, and lent my support to a cause that sought to undermine the very fabric of our collective unity. But as I stand here, stripped of all pretense and deception, I am compelled to confront the truth of my betrayal. I see now the folly of my actions, the harm they have wrought upon our community, and the pain they have inflicted upon those I once swore to protect. I stand corrected. The rations for milk have always been 450 milliliters, not the 500 milliliters I falsely claimed. This discrepancy was not a mere mistake, but a deliberate act of deception, orchestrated in collusion with Goldstein, aimed at sowing seeds of discord and dissent among our people. I do not seek forgiveness, for I know that forgiveness must be earned through deeds, not words. Nor do I seek pity, for I am fully aware of the consequences that await me. Instead, I stand before you as a man, laid bare, ready to accept the judgment of the Big Brother and the consequences of my betrayal. I offer no excuses, no justifications. I only ask that my confession be heard, my guilt acknowledged, and my criminal act be swiftly and justly punished.
As it should be. As it should be. Yeah, sometimes I disagree with Big Brother. I'm just kidding. But this time I'm going to have to say Big Brother's 100% correct. Goldstein has absolutely used incorrect information. Do you know how much 50 milliliters of milk is? Can you believe that? People were expecting 500 when the ration is 450. You know what kind of chaos that sows through society when those kind of Goldstein-esque lies are spread? This fella here seems like a nice guy, even though he's absolutely a criminal. So I hope Big Brother goes easy on him. But if Big Brother decides to make an example of this guy, well, that's just how the cookie crumbles, huh? So another big W for Big Brother. Thank you so much, Big Brother, of course, for running our lives and being the shining, guiding influence in these troubled times. So thank you so much for that message there. Wasn't that something else? Someone made that with AI. Basically, what a broadcast would look like if you were living in 1984. So they even do like the bumpers and everything. Look at this. Yeah, Ingsoc. Love it. They got bumpers and everything, like a real legit broadcast that you would, of course, not be able to turn off and not be able to
News
adjust
from the
the
front
volume
line.
of. I'll never forget that scene that gave me shivers when the administrator turns down the volume of the TV and what was his name? God, I can't remember. It was right in my head. But he's so shocked. You can do that? Oh yes, we get a few privileges. We can shut off the TV. That's possible. Brilliant stuff. Welcome back, Lenny, and of course, welcome back, Woke Patriot. Was living in 1984 and almost 4 decades before that. Amazing stuff, Lenny. I am very grateful for the wise folks that continue to come back and enjoy the stream, even if we do butt heads sometimes. I am eternally grateful for your wisdom. I mean, you know, and it must be rather embarrassing seeing, you know, a good chunk of your peers try to destroy the country before they pass on. Well, that's excellent. I like to hear that, Lenny. Thank you. That is the goal of the News Underground. By the way, I am Abandoned Nihilism, a.k.a. the Harbinger, a.k.a. the realest motherfucker on Twitch. That's just how it rolls. We do 100% news, and that's what we're going to be jumping into today. Welcome back, Lee, OG Lee, all the OGs in this chat. All the OGs, the trifecta, coming in. You guys are the only ones that actually have free time on a Monday afternoon. Everyone else is working. Which is fine. Look, you know, I'm very grateful for even one viewer, so I'm grateful to have 3 great ones. We got 4, and we got 4. That OG Davey. Thank you, Davey, for coming back. He's over there working hard for the military-industrial complex. But hey, you keep going. Welcome back, Cam Goblin, our good friend from Ukraine. And of course, Fiasco. I think you've been in here before. Welcome back. So we're going to be jumping into Ukraine news right off the bat. Instead of shoving them in the back, we're putting them right up front where they deserve to be. So we just got a smattering of news. Let's just get right into it, okay, folks? You, me, and Alan used to play all the time. Oh, yeah, Allen Productions or whatever. Yeah, no, Miscreated. Yes. I've tried to hit him up to play some Scum. You know, I definitely want to do some Scum streams one of these days. So you should hit me up. Hit me up on. I don't know. Are we still on Steam? I delete a bunch of friends that I don't recognize on Steam after a couple years, so that's fine. But yeah, we used to hold it down and Miscreated. Yeah, Scum is great. Scum is great. All right, not to get too distracted, but thank you, Fiasco, for coming back. A Power Productions, that's what it was. A Power Productions. Yeah, dude. If if Alan ever gets back, of course, you ever want to game down, you ever see me on Steam, which is literally never. But don't be afraid to hit me up if you do. But I got a kid right now, and I got a bunch of other things. I'm actually trying to write something, which is embarrassing. I'm so terrible at it, but I'm trying. I've been spending a lot of time doing that as well. I do need to focus back on the garage if I ever want to have a real studio. The fucking garage is sitting right there, and it's just full of shit, and I just need to organize it. Anyway, Ukraine up front, not personal stuff. No one gives a shit about your fucking garage, dude. Come on. What is this TikTok? What is this? But no, Fiasco, it's good to see you, buddy. And man, I'll never forget those times. So much fun. So much fun. Miscreated was one hell of a game. It's still there. You could still play it, but it's just, you know, there's just not enough people coming and going, you know. The actions where it's at, it's DayZ and Scum, obviously. Okay. Thanks again, Fiasco. But back to Ukraine here. Ukraine launches coordinated strikes against glide bomb Russian airbase military from a Russian glide bomb Russian airbase military source. So they're attacking locations that are launching these glide bombs that are actually really hard to shoot down. Apparently, Ukraine has been having a lot of trouble shooting them down. You know, the Patriot can probably do it, but the Patriot's extremely expensive, and they can launch a whole shitload of these. What they basically need is kind of Iron Dome kind of shit. Ukrainian forces. Well, actually, I mean, looking at how Iron Dome performed recently with those drones that Iran launched. Anyway, we can get into that later. But you know what I mean. They need different kind of anti-air. The stuff that they have right now is not working very well against these glide bombs, and they're slightly different from drone bombs, apparently, you know, in their design. Ukrainian forces have launched coordinated strikes against an air base in southern Russia that is used to unleash glide bomb attacks on Ukraine, a military sources said. The operation, which took place overnight on Saturday, had significantly reduced Moscow's ability to use glide bombs against frontline Ukrainian positions, according to the source, who spoke on condition of anonymity. I'm gonna work on my pronunciation. All luminous, so I stop embarrassing myself on stream. It's rather embarrassing when I can't pronounce words. The Ukrainian military source claimed this would, quote, seriously impact a Russian attempt to advance on the battleground town of Chasiv Yar in the east of Ukraine. Strikes targeted the, oh yeah, well, I mean, this I get a pass on. Kushiyovskaya Air Base in Krasnodar Krai, which is the North Caucasus region of southern Russia, the source said. The source did not elaborate on what form the coordinated strikes took. It was not possible independently to verify the claims. The source said a number of aircraft, including fighter jets such as Su-27, Su-34, Su-35, are based at the airfield. They are capable of launching munitions fitted with glide bomb. Oh, I see. So that's how they're launched. That's the difference. They're launched from their... That's so funny. Their ancient fucking aircraft are launching these toys that are actually more capable than they are. Oh boy, that's just like the tanks that are being turned into artillery launchers. You know, these once proud tanks blitzkrieging on the battlefield, now relegated to a dugout in the dirt somewhere so they can launch a shell every once in a while, because that's all they're good for. Same thing here. All these things are good for is gliding in the air and then launching something far more deadly than they are. Quote, the degradation of this airfield and the capability it holds will mean that Russia's ability to bomb Ukrainian troops on the front line significantly reduced. So there we go. Just, you know, won't get into it any further, but Ukraine is not standing still. You know, this is not by any means a bowl over. You know, the front line is, you know, they've lost control of the front lines. You know, just in case you might have watched an episode of Breaking Points recently about Ukraine, they're so fucking embarrassing over there at Breaking Points. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Sagar and Crystal. What are you doing, Kyle? Are you going to call Sagar and Janetti out or what? He's personal friends with JD Vance. Are you going to call out Sagar and Janetti or what, dude? Sick of your silence. Oh, you got to be on Joe Rogan a couple times, so you fucking give him a pass on everything? Come on. I haven't watched you recently, so hopefully you've come out and criticized Joe Rogan since. Since what, like 2 years ago, I guess, maybe a year and a half when I dropped your shit. Talking to you, Kyle. I know you're watching. Ukraine claims success in Kharkiv as Russia offensive slows. This is a DW News report.
Ukraine's second biggest city, Kharkiv, is coming under near constant bombardment as Russia presses ahead with a new offensive. Kyiv has accused Russia of targeting civilians after a wave of Russian drone and missile strikes swept across the region. Moscow has consistently denied targeting civilians deliberately, but many are coming under fire regardless.
Sorry about that, Kim.
2 children were playing here when a guided aerial bomb hit this private yard in central Kharkiv.
Yeah. Another successful mission from Putin. Still kind of loud? No problem. We'll crank it down a bit. But yeah, this is what Putin considers a success.
Officials are assessing the damage, while the father is being treated by paramedics. His wife and 2 children all in hospital. Strikes like this one have been hitting Ukraine's second largest city daily, as Russia continues its offensive in the northeast. For some, there's been no respite from weeks of attacks. It's the second airstrike on this woman's house.
For a terror campaign to be successful, it has to be consistent. Let me know when you want. This is why we don't. This is why we always every strike.
It's exactly the same
we
place
see
as the
civilians
last
getting hit.
It was Easter 2022. The Russians were shelling Kharkiv then. I've just finished restoring the house myself. Now I don't know what to do.
She just restored it. might have been why she was targeted, right? Any evidence
Tens
of
of
construction or
thousands
something.
have already been evacuated from Kharkiv region, but some remain
bastards.
in defiance of the Russian onslaught.
Oh man, she's got like food
I was
and
eating in the
preserves.
kitchen and went to another room to drink coffee. I heard an explosion. I didn't know where. Plaster and glass were flying everywhere. Then there was another explosion. I was scared and wanted to run away, but I didn't know where to go or what to do.
More Kharkiv residents may soon have to decide whether to stay on. As Russia captures
Maybe.
more villages
Probably
in the
not,
area,
though.
it is
Look at
feared that nowhere will be safe
Probably
for
not, though.
civilians.
Well, and for
No, I mean Ukraine's going to hold them back. You know, but the criticism is that this was unnecessary. Because if they were better equipped, they would have been more prepared. Maybe, at the very least, they would have been better prepared once Russia crossed the border. Because we've seen analysts basically acknowledge that there wasn't too much fortification in the areas that Russia pushed on, because it's very, very difficult to build fortifications when you're in attack range of the enemy. When you're so close to them, it's hard to dig a trench, and that makes perfect sense to me. With that said, we will see a soldier comment on how there could have been some kind of extra defenses put into place. So, you know, I'm not sure, you know, what kind of rank this soldier is and how, you know, how knowledgeable he is on the situation, but I do think, you know, person fighting on the front line, you know, should not be immediately hand waved away, you know, but reporting from Ukraine did say, like, you know, one of the reasons why we didn't have a lot of fortifications there was because of it's very dangerous to build them. But, you know, reporting from Ukraine, little bias there, so maybe that's our first big nugget of bullshit, that it actually is possible to build strong fortifications close to the enemy, close to the border. You know, it's more dangerous, but maybe it is more possible. Maybe that's the case. Let's hear what the expert has to say. We've heard from Marina quite a bit. I like her.
some analysis on that, let's bring in Marina Miron from the War Studies Department at King's College in London. Good to have you with us.
Though. Let's be real.
Now, we know Ukrainian prosecutors have opened an investigation into possible war crimes in Kharkiv and Vovchansk. But are we talking about war crimes? Is that what we're seeing here?
Good morning, Monica.
Yeah, we'll be getting to Iran soon.
We have to be very careful when we're looking at incidents like this, because we have seen that throughout the war.
Welcome back, Estonia.
It takes time to actually establish what it was. And a day after such attacks, it's virtually impossible to reach a conclusive decision. And the laws of war obviously prohibit intentional targeting of civilians. Now, there is also the possibility of collateral damage, and I think it's a very important distinction which has to be kept in mind here. Therefore, it's very early to jump to conclusions, specifically because we've seen it throughout the war. The Russians have been accusing Ukrainians of the same. In Belgorod, the Ukrainian side has been accusing the Russians. Yes, there will be war crimes as in any war, and that is an unfortunate reality, but they have to be distinguished from collateral damage, and they have to be investigated properly, and that takes years. It's not a matter of 2-3 days or even weeks.
Let's take a look at the front line, because Volodymyr Zelensky reported some success by Ukrainian troops fighting the renewed Russian assault in the Kharkiv region.
I actually have footage of Iranians
what more do you know about that?
Well, it seems like the assault is not progressing as fast as it was last week. So the Russians would have to cross the Vovcha River, which is dividing Vovchansk. And they are obviously attempting to isolate Vovchansk from the east. So in that direction, there seems to be much less activity than in other directions, but we have to be very careful and look at the entire line of contact and what is happening there. And I'm specifically referring to the Kupiansk region and to Belogorivka, where the Russians are seeming to make advances. It's still too early to tell. They're also active around Ocheretine and in Chasiv Yar. Zaporizhia, Robotine is another important direction for the Russians. So we have to look at the complete picture, and it seems that Vovchansk for now seems to be a little bit calmer. How that will evolve will depend on how well the Ukrainian forces can defend against the Russians.
And that exactly brings us to the next point, because we know that Ukraine is struggling with a lack of equipment, lack of weapons. And now a study shows that there is another restriction that could hamper Ukraine's defense ability, namely restrictions in the way weapons provided by Western allies can be used. Could you explain that to us?
Well, there have been concerns, and these concerns are not new, and they are related to the whole aid that has been supplied to Ukraine by Western countries, namely the fact that Ukraine shouldn't use those weapons to strike Russia proper. And that has been a problem. Ukraine has also been criticized for using drones to strike Russian oil refineries, for instance. And it is a legitimate military target from the Ukrainian point of view, of course. However, there are even restrictions being placed on that, something that Ukraine in this situation could take advantage of potentially. And so restricting Ukraine from, let's say, striking across the border where Russian groupings of troops are preparing for renewed assaults is, of course, hampering Ukraine's capabilities. And if we put it into the whole picture where Ukraine is already struggling with manpower, with shortage of technology, restricting Ukraine in that way is, of course, very significant for Ukraine's ability to defend itself, because the Russians can use those territories without any fear of being attacked by Ukrainian forces.
All right, Marina Miron from the War Studies Department at King's College, London.
Okay, well, that would be bad news if that is the case. Okay, look, everyone wants to talk about Iran. I should have been more considerate, because that is the big story, of course. So we'll just do a quick Ukraine pause and pop into Iran really quick and do that news, so everyone can calm down. But okay, that's interesting. So we'll be watching that carefully. Sorry about that. Yes, we'll be getting to that soon, but no, everybody wants to talk about it. So the first thing I had set up for the Iran information here was this crazy picture that kind of gives you an idea of the weather. And I honestly, my wife mentioned this, that this is, because I was mentioning, this really feels like kind of similar to what we saw with Ben-Gvir's car crash. Ben-Gvir, who believes he's above the law, rules for thee, not for me, literally telling his driver to run red lights and drive like a maniac, as if people would or should know that this is Ben-Gvir's car or Ben-Gvir's convoy. And, because the driver wasn't Mario Andretti, he rolled that bitch. And Ben-Gvir got a little messed up because of it. Apparently, Kobe Bryant, same thing with his. He was advised not to fly, and he told his pilot to do it anyway. Maybe. I'm kind of getting the same feeling here that Mr. President of Iran and embassy guy, or I'm not quite sure. We'll get that information. I'm sure everybody else knows. But the president of Iran over here, oh yeah, you can do it. You can do it. Do you think Boeing is unsafe? Foreign minister, that's what it was. Thank you for the perfect. Yeah, we got several reports here. We'll get into the details. But just to give you an idea of what the weather was. And no, you should not be flying in this. Especially in a helicopter, which are, notoriously difficult to stay, stable, like you needed a lot of years of experience, and I'm sure he was a good pilot, probably one of the best. But even the best pilots can't do the impossible. In weather like this, be like, yo, let's land immediately. Yeah, in the mountains especially. Yeah, because the elevation's constantly changing. It was Israeli rave fog machine attack that took down the chopper. So I mean, I'm sure social media. I'm not really plugged into social media right now because of my kid. Not really spending a lot of time on Twitter and in other social media locations. So I'm sure the fucking idiots are just all over the fucking place with this, right? But honestly, one of the reasons why I didn't have this up front, because to me it's like, yeah, a lot of good memes. Yeah, no, Davey's definitely posted a couple good ones in the meme section on the Discord. Hey, Mokurist, I'll be happy to click on that link if you tell me what it is. But I just wanted to give you an idea here of what the weather was, and like I was saying before, the reason why I didn't have it up front is because it's like, no, this actually does legitimately seem like one of those freak accidents. It was a Russian helicopter. It wasn't welcome back, Trailhead. Thank you for coming back. But yeah, it doesn't really seem like it's foul play from my bullshit detector isn't going off at all, and neither. And it doesn't even look like Iran is even trying to the Iranian government is trying to use this as an opportunity to rile up their people about Israel. Like that, there's like, man, we got nothing on this. There's no evidence whatsoever that Israel had anything to do with this. He flew into Silent Hill and slammed into the mountains. Like, why he got I'm not dancing on this guy's grave, but he's not a nice guy. Honestly, okay, he's not a peacemaker, a negotiator. With that said, does Iran deserve to be treated the way that they've been treated by the United States and the international community? No, absolutely not. Like, Iran was cooperating. Barack Obama got Iran to cooperate with a nuclear deal that could have expanded into all kinds of deals and to everything else. And Trump, out of sheer politics and maybe racism, threw that right in the trap. His link is a Chinese meme picture, it looks like. Or actually, it's Japanese. All right, whatever. Harmless then. Whatever, I'll show it. I don't care. This isn't this is a professional show. What am I talking about? It's very professional. What the fuck is this? The fuck is this? Hey, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? I don't even know what this says. All right. Maybe it's a racial slur. I don't know. Fuck. Maybe I'm in big trouble right now. All right, so let's keep this moving. Once again, this was the weather that the pilot was flying in. And I know, if I know anything about pilots, they don't like dying most of the time. And a pilot would see this weather and be like, yo, we got to land immediately. Let's turn around, delay. And I could see this guy being, I don't want to delay. I'm the fucking president and I'm king of the world. I'm the most important person in the world. Fly me there immediately, idiot. She's like, okay, all right. I mean, you're going to kill me otherwise, I guess. Which means, hi, what you doing at morning 4 p.m.? It so happens that I'm fluent in Japanese. Okay, that's easily the most random thing anyone's ever posted in my chat at any time for any reason. That's about as schizo, psycho, rando as it gets right there. So congratulations, you get the award. That is easily the most random shit I've ever seen in my chat. Fucking George Clooney. I don't know. So fireworks, unrelated, I'm sure, to the death of the Iranian president. Fireworks were going off in some town in Iran. I don't really speak this, so according to social media, this could totally be a fake news. This could be completely from a different time, different date. So this could be total propaganda. And my browser just completely having a seizure because I still haven't achieved the goal of closing any of these tabs. Really, these video players, they take up 500 megabytes of RAM. Some of these tabs, and you're like, for what? Does anyone optimize anything anymore? Look at this shit. Look at this shit. I gotta hit escape. super reliable source, I would say. Yeah, exactly. Fort the Perfect.
قهرمانان شما جلادان ما هستند. عزای شما شادی ماست.
نورافشانی
آسمان سقز شهر ژینا به مناسبت مرگ جلاد بژی کردستان جنجیان آزادی به مناسبت مرگ جلاد بژی کردستان جنجیان آزادی.
Okay, I have no idea what he's saying, and it could be a total lie, so I have no idea. But this is supposedly Iranian people celebrating the helicopter crash of President Raisi. Will we see fireworks when the same thing happens to Putin? Probably. I got a bad feeling, though, that whatever replaces Putin is going to be even worse. You know? All right, so here's the professional actually talking about this. Iran's President Raisi confirmed dead in helicopter crash.
We start with breaking news. Iranian state media say President Ibrahim Raisi, the country's foreign minister, and several others have been found dead at the site of a helicopter crash. These are the first images we're getting off the site, captured by a drone and recorded from a screen by rescuers. Teams searched for hours in back.
I bet people were getting lost within the fog. You know, you walk off in one direction too far away from the group. You know, who knows where you are, dude.
Bad weather, and the wreckage was eventually
found
in the mountains in Iran's
I noticed. I was saying that in my head as well. Like hard
Officials
landing.
say the aircraft crashed into a mountain peak. Nilufar Gholami from the W's Persian service joins me now. Nilufar, what more do we know about the circumstances of this crash?
Yeah, Davey. Okay, that's so funny, dude. Because I mean, you look at that fog, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get lost in that stuff. So try flying a helicopter in that. And I honestly, and they'll never admit it, this feels like hubris.
18 hours after the crash and several hours of rescue operation, finally state media confirmed the death of Ibrahim Raisi, Amir Abdullahian, and all others on board. The helicopter crashed on a mountain in heavy fog in the province of East Azerbaijan. And according to the state media, the helicopter was almost entirely destroyed, and bodies have been completely burned and unrecognizable. Now it's said that the bodies are being transferred to the city of Tabriz, and the search.
All right, Ford the Perfect, you've been all right. You've been a pretty nice person. I think I can trust a link for you. After helping Iran find out President Raisi's helicopter crash site, Turkish drone Bayraktar Aknisi draw the Turkish national symbol on the map. What? So you think this was, but that's not it. A Turkish drone was allowed entry inside the Iranian aerial border to help locate the site of a helicopter crash a few hours after it happened. Interestingly enough, it didn't fly directly to the suspected area of accident. It made a few detours over some sensitive military sites. Really? TSK just pulled a spectacular aerial surveillance coup over very sensitive Iranian military sites. The Aknisi drone could have gone straight to the suspected crash zone, but flew over Amman rocket site. I see. Kohi Airport, Tabriz Airport, also over the Army's rep. So they were given, they said, hey, let me help you out. And they were given temporary permission to be in Iranian airspace. So they decided to take a little detour on their way to scoping it out. And then as a little troll to the, okay. I mean, this is what you get though, when you're, this is why nobody, the thing about Iran is that of course they don't deserve to be treated the way they have by the West, but they really don't do themselves any favors either. Seeding, all of this, Hezbollah shit, supporting terrorism and in various areas, and just generally, look, and I get it though. Look, how do you resist, right? How do you resist this, this Western hegemony, hegemony, hegemony. Hegemony. Everyone just wants me to say hegemony. It's not hegemony. It's hegemony. So this is interesting. But now, how do you resist that? But also, like, the whole, like, spooky, AK-47 beheadings, all that shit. It's just it's counterproductive, right? It feeds right into these Western boogeyman narratives that they use successfully to convince their pseudo democracies in some cases. I mean, it's not really fair to call America a complete democracy, and not really fair to call. I mean, I don't. It's a scale of actual democracy. I'm sure America would not be number one, unfortunately, but it should be. But it's easy to convince the people in these pseudo democracies that there's a boogeyman, they deserve to die, it's justified. It's crazy to me if you think about how much time was spent in Iraq, in Afghanistan. We're still in Iraq, by the way, but how much money and time was spent in Afghanistan, and for a good solid 5-6 years, the media didn't even have to really. There were whole months that went by where MSNBC, ABC, all the major ones, CNN, literally didn't even mention Afghanistan. Whole months went by without a single mention of a conflict that America's, active in, an active battlefield. Can you imagine? No reporting on Vietnam for a whole month. Just because people got used to it, it became background noise, and, celebrities are more interesting, yada, yada. Interesting stuff. So that, okay, I mean, that doesn't really indicate that they did anything. It's just that they took advantage of the situation. So, yeah, I don't think they orchestrated this. This is, this is just taking advantage of the tragedy. They were given permission to be in the airspace. So yeah, that is interesting that it happened. Like, what are you going to do about it?
Search is over.
Now, how much of a shock is this to Iran? How have people been reacting?
For the camp of regime supporters, it's a shock. They have announced the death of Raisi and others' martyrdom in the way of serving the people. All people on board were among high-ranking officials, including East Azerbaijan provinces and Foreign Minister Amir Abdullahian. He was most hated for denying killing of protesters in Iran in protest after the death of Jina Mahsa Amini. So for many, this was such a good news.
Now, what happens next?
Oh, man. For many, this is such good news.
So under Article 131 of Iran's constitution, first Vice President Mohammad Mokhber will temporarily assume Raisi's duties with the Supreme Leader's approval. And according to the law, a council must organize a new presidential election within 50 days. In my opinion, this won't be a major challenge for the regime and won't affect the Islamic Republic's foreign or domestic politics. Let's not forget that the strategic decisions are set by the Supreme Leader and the IRGC, not the president. But of course, they will use this as an opportunity in any possible way to implement more pressure on the society and establishing a security atmosphere.
No, because the Ayatollah is the ultimate, hierarchy. The prime minister, it's total Zaphoid Bibelbrock shit, dude, because the prime minister is basically just supposed to be a charismatic people pleaser, that's lying for the theocracy that's firmly in place
all over the country.
Now, Raisi was known as a hardliner. Some even called him the butcher of Iran. Tell us a bit more about him.
Yeah, let's get into it. Get the fucking tea.
Yeah, Raisi was a hatred face among many Iranians. As you already mentioned, he was known as the hangman and butcher of Tehran for his role in execution of political prisoners.
Oh, he was really? No, okay, I didn't read that part. I'm sorry for it. He was supposed to be the successor to the Ayatollah. His presidency was a way of legitimizing him for that position. Holy fuck sticks, I didn't know that. Okay, thank you. Okay, so, it's, the Ayatollah isn't going anywhere, though, so he'll just, he'll have, I'm sure he's got other people that he's been kind of grooming in ways like that. Yeah, so they're kind of parading him around like that. Okay, so that just means he'll have to re-groom somebody else. That's the great thing about theocracies, right? You can just do shit. And it's like, well, God, whatever. It's, whatever. You can just do shit. It's great. You just edicts and declarations, and then it's law.
Raisi was a hatred face among many Iranians. As you already mentioned, he was known as the hangman and butcher of Tehran for his role in execution of political prisoners in the late...
That's right. And of course, we have seen the, gay people getting executed, et cetera, et cetera. We have seen that stuff leaking out throughout the last couple of years, at least. It definitely comes across, in my news searches, Iran executes this gay person, there's activists and protesters getting executed. And of course, the morality police, I assume they've been double down and triple down on. I assume their oppression of women who want to, remove their hijab or wear a different kind of hijab, right? It's like a lot of women, they just want to wear like a nice hijab with their hair done in a way, so you kind of get the best of both worlds, right? And the morality police want to literally crack down on, oh, no, you got to cover that up, man. It's Taliban 2.0. I don't want to see your ankles, bitch. It's like, it's absurd. So I assume that shit's been doubling down on as well. Doubled down on.
80s as a founding member of prosecution committee. That's why many Iranians are expressing their happiness. It's not surprising that many social media users write funny tweets and post memes about the incident. Some family members of the victims of recent protests or the ones who lost an eye or injured posting their videos celebrating the death of Raisi and Amir Abdullahian. A group of Iranians, for example, gathered in front of the Iranian embassy in London to celebrate.
No shit.
And I saw some videos of fireworks in different locations of Iran.
And he was supposed to be the new supreme leader, just to give you an idea of what
intelligence organizations.
Just to give you an idea of what their government thinks of their people. This guy that people hated, dude. They're jumping for joy that he died in a horrific helicopter crash. It's one of the worst ways to die. People are jumping for joy, and this guy was supposed to be the new supreme leader, right? Just to give you an idea of what direction these theocrats want to go in. And that's what makes all this so damn gray. Because I want to criticize the military-industrial complex. I want to criticize the West for their ill treatment of the Muslim world in general. But you got characters and you got governments like this. And it's like, they don't deserve regime change or any of that, the Shah shit that, that we did to them in the 60s and 70s and all that. But they're not, they're not squeaky clean either. They're not, and it's not like you have to be squeaky clean, but you know what I mean? They're not even democracies. So it's like, how much, but like, then we get into this morality argument of like, are you really allowed to, make a group of citizens of any country degrade their quality of life because they don't agree with your politics and your government? So it's like, well, there's gradations there. Oh my God. Anyway, but this is very interesting that people hate this guy. Yes and no. The person has to have a good reputation in the government. The current Ayatollah was imprisoned before the revolution by the Shah, was a commander during the Iran-Iraq War, was also president. So he ticks all the boxes. Have to have a good resume. They won't bring out just a rando. It has to be someone who they can form a cult of personality around. That's interesting. Okay. They forced him to be closed-minded. Who's they? You talking about the president here? Huh?
Warn citizens about what they share on social media.
Yeah. Decades of sanctions doesn't churn you into a theocratic nightmare that treats women like second-class citizens. Sanctions don't force your society to do that. Sanctions don't force you to execute homosexuals for being gay. Sanctions don't do that.
Nila Fakalami there from DW's Persian. So
that was a really great report. Sorry to interrupt her so many times, but that was really something else. It's I don't know how these people keep a straight face when they're saying some of this shit, dude. I'd be grinning for me. It's crazy. It's hilarious. Are you kidding me? It'd be like impossible for me not to comment. That's probably why I'm not on mainstream news. I think this is a link from your boy Davey over here. By Tunage. Iranian President Raisi's death and helicopter crash. Just kind of a beat by beat kind of what happened here. Flight path simulation. Beep, boop, beep. This is your mission. Call of Duty. Grab it. Miss Lutz, gotta take down the Iranian president in the fog, Snake. It's impossible shot, only you could do it. Time for him to go. Following detection by UAV, the wreckage. No, I mean, like, that's the thing. It's like you can't pin this on either you know, you could have, it's not like you couldn't have some device in this helicopter that you could turn on remotely somehow that would like shut it off, you know, and then it crashes, does like a perfect crash in the fog. But you're certainly not going to be able to shoot it down. Not with any conventional weaponry, not in that weather. I mean, I don't know, Davey, is the technology good enough to shoot in the fog like this? I don't think so. So here's an image right here of the crash itself, as you can see, just absolutely horrific. I don't know. You're our military expert. Come on, buddy. I mean, as you can see, though, looks like, I don't know, the image is kind of hard to tell, like where the angle of the hill is. Heat seekers might be used in thick fog. It was an American helicopter. I thought it was a Russian one. I've heard reports it was a Russian one. That's so funny. I've seen that so much. Enemies, so-called enemies of America, using American armored vehicles and American helicopters. I mean, it's like, yeah, they suck, but, you know, we like their gadgets. Pretty good gadgets. Yeah, it's just, it's not the best way to go. Helicopter crash. So this person right here, I've seen this pop up quite a bit. Would love to build a memorial for his victims on that site. So they call him the Butcher. Apparently this picture right here shows just a few of supposedly his victims. It was an American helicopter. Oh, that, okay. Yeah, there's just really no excuse. You know, and I think that's why we're not seeing the Iranian government even try to deflect or, you know, confuse people or take advantage of the situation narratively. Like, no, this was a tragic accident. We got no way to pin this on our enemies. I mean, this just, you know, hey, ROB, it's good to see you, Rob. Welcome back. Just to give you an idea. I've definitely recognized some of these faces, especially the woman in the middle here. But yeah, these are probably a lot of gay people, probably a lot of political activists. He got the Butcher nickname mostly because of the revolution. He was in charge of a committee with a few other people sentencing political prisoners. Yeah. But let's make him supreme leader, right? Great idea, huh? Theoretically, one could fire an EMP missile using thermal targeting that would explode near enough to a helicopter that could take out the electronics to cause a crash that might be perceived as accidental. Yeah, you wouldn't need any internal anything, right? Any way to trace it back to you. It was U.S. made Bell 212. Okay, wow, look at Davey over here. Yeah, look at that. See, I told you, man. You're our military expert. On the scene with Davey. Ordered execution of a lot of communists and leftists right after the revolution. I guess that's what's happening down here with these really ancient photos, some black and white, some really old stuff. Because it's kind of interesting. Things get, you know, younger and newer, higher resolution photos as it gets to the top. We're watching today Trump Money Hush Live. Really? Is he guilty or not? That's, you know, I'm just like, fuck this shit, dude. I'm not every fucking day with this. I don't fucking care what Michael Cohen smells like. Holy shit, you know? I'm not making fun. I'm not trying to push on you, Rob. It's very important. I'm just so sick of it. I want that motherfucker in jail today. For anything, dude. For anything. With that said, I do have a dumb bullshit right-wing news segment, but I don't think Trump is in there. It's like, just find him fucking guilty on something, please. Motherfucker's slippery. He's more slippery than a snot in a doorknob. Could be fragments of a missile somewhere nearby. Oh, yeah, Chem Goblin, good point, if there was an EMP explosion. But no, I don't know. Is there anything relevant? Rob, let me know. Let me know if there's anything I should actually report on. I feel bad. But I got day after tomorrow off, so I got something out of it. Nice. Maybe today things change. Okay, maybe. Welcome back, Borderline. Let's see. That helo is old as shit. Probably left over from the Shaw. Last produced 26 years ago. Wow. I mean, you know, good helicopter's a good helicopter. But don't leave fragments, but yeah, likely. Possibly not near enough to crash, though, to be discovered. It's pretty far-fetched. I mean, that's the thing. It's just like, I think this is hubris. We just saw it with Ben Gavir. No one knows it's you in the fucking car, man. He's telling his drivers, literally. It's well known, apparently. He's telling his drivers, run red lights, blast through it. We don't have time to wait. I'm more important than the laws. I'm bigger. my time's more important. I don't have time for laws. And then he gets in a wreck. That's what I think is going on here. You know, what is it, Occam's razor? No, and I'm not suggesting that's the case. Just, yeah, woke patriot, totally. You're just, gaming it out, right? Well, it could, technically, some harebrained Metal Gear Solid fucking kind of shit could have happened, sure. Right? I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility. Hey, it's going to be foggy. He went to this thing to do this PR thing. He took some photos. He's going to be on his way back. In 5 hours, he'll be on a plane. He'll be on a helicopter. This is our opportunity. I think it was 100% the case of weather caused crash. Total Kobe vibes. Yeah. I didn't know that about Kobe, that he told his pilot. I didn't, I was just like, oh, that's tragic. And then I moved on with my life. I don't spend a lot of time learning about celebrities and stuff, but my wife was telling me about that because she watches that a little bit more than me, And I was like, oh, really? That's how Kobe went. I had no idea. All right, so this is the last news about, let's see, what's going on with Trump. Cohen says his entire life has been turned upside down. Oh, whoa, Cohen. Poor Cohen. Oh, my God. Judge Merchan looks like he's pooty angry. Judge says he won't allow this to become a trial within a trial. There you go, Judge Merchan. I do like Judge Merchan. I don't know. I don't think he's a partisan like Eileen Cannon. Justice Merchan says he will allow some testimony from Robert Costello. This includes testimony of Donald Trump allegedly pressuring Michael Cohen over the hush money payment, as well as testimony about any alleged inconsistencies. What Cohen has already told the court. When Merchan put up some guardrails, I'm not going to allow this to become a trial within a trial, he says. Costello enters the courtroom wearing a blue suit and blue tie. Oh, interesting. Very relevant. Very important. Trump looks in his direction as he walks to the stand. Oh, my God. Wait, hold on. Breaking news. We got breaking news. Costello entered the courtroom wearing a blue suit and a blue tie. Trump looked in his direction as he walked to the stand, folks. This is breaking news. Emil Bove will be questioning him for the defense. Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep you guys updated on the latest Trump bullshit. Can that motherfucker go to jail, please? I mean, look, I want him to be found guilty. You know what I mean? In a court of law, I understand it takes time. I'm not saying arrest him for crimes he didn't commit. All right? But we got this guy on like 90 counts or something. Some of this shit's documented, like signed a paper. Yes, I'm committing fraud, basically. So come the fuck on already, dude. I can't get away with this shit. Right? I'm over here, trying to sell my house. I say, the square foot's twice as large as what it is. Well, it was owned by me. I am the host of the News Underground. I am abandoned nihilism. So when people come, my brand is pretty big, Like, yeah, the value of your brand doesn't allow you to magically say that your house is twice as large as what it is. Well, but people hate me. People don't like me, so they come after me. They don't like me, so. Yeah, but you committed a crime. You document. Yeah, well, you're biased against me. I can't do that. Can you? Anyway, back to Iran. if convicted, would he actually go to jail, run his campaign? It depends on whichever one he's actually found guilty for. Some of the crimes he's allegedly committed don't require jail time, just incredible amounts of fines and fees and whatever. And others are straight up felonies. So I don't know. I keep up with it as much as I can, but I'm not gonna, I'll leave that to the freaks at MSNBC to study every little, literally every little other, like he wore a blue suit and a blue tie and Trump looked at him, the hush money one. I don't know, is that jail time? Is the hush money one even jail time? I don't know. Okay, let's get to it here. News wrap: Israeli war cabinet member threatens to... Wait, what the hell is this? This is not the right one. Hold on. Okay, we done? Am I already done with my Iran news? Yeah, okay, that's all we got. All right, that's the end of Iran. I don't know, I'm done. All I got. What do you want? What do you want? A picture of his dead body? I don't have it. I'm sure, Davey, you got that shit? People want to see his dead, charred corpse now. I don't have that shit. Last little bit from Iran. This better not be a dead, charred corpse. Come on, take off your... Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yikes. That is blasphemous. Yikes. That is blasphemous. Did I have that queued up? I don't. Okay. Yeelow! Welcome back. The appeals process could take some time. He could face jail time, but it's unlikely if he takes the stand and commits perjury, though. Yeah. Woke patriot. I know. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Merrick Garland not starting this process, 2 years into Biden's presidency, and then he finally decides to do something about it. I don't know. Just whole thing stinks, man. Whole thing stinks. Something's up with that Merrick Garland. It would be a disaster. It would be such a disaster if Trump took the stand. Need to finish him off at the ballot. Hey, Davey over here wants to finish off Trump. Oh, yeah. I bet you do. A little conservative. No, I know. I'm just teasing. That is what we need to do. We have no choice. And look, when it comes to voting, real quick, because I'm seeing this on the left, we were doing it during Bernie, doing it with Hillary. And I go back to actually something Kyle Kulinski taught me, and I think I still agree with it here. We have to vote strategically. If you live in a safe, super blue California-esque location that Biden is absolutely going to nail, and, all the electoral college votes are going to go right to Biden, go ahead and vote your conscience. Okay? If you live in a swing state, for the love of God, please don't vote. Please don't vote for the fascist, and please take the time to vote for Joe Biden. The progressive movement needs more time to take over the corporatist neoliberal establishment. We need more time. And accelerating into a fascist dictatorship is not going to help the progressive movement. So I see the lefties over here. Ignoring me. Whatever, guys. At the end of the day, we got two fucking people. You don't like it, it's first past the post. You don't like it, I get it. I'm no fan of it either. But the progressive movement needs more time to defeat the neoliberals, and we're not going to do that with a fascist Trump presidency. We got no fucking choice here. Thank you, Davey. Ukrainian army destroys Russian ship in Crimea. 6 servicemen were killed. Not going to celebrate the death of soldiers, even if they are from Russia. At the same time, maybe you should get out of Ukraine. And that's right, Crimea is Ukraine. Welcome back, Gaius. Thank you for agreeing, Ribbons. I don't like it either.
A Ukrainian missile attack has destroyed...
You think I want to vote for Joe fucking Biden? If the man was standing right in front of me, you know, you'd have to pull me away because I'd be screaming. Right? What's up with the grocery prices? Like, you know, like you got nothing, there's nothing you could do. What's up with the Supreme Court? What's up with the filibuster? What the hell happened to the Voting Rights Act? Joe? I'd have a lot of things to say. But yeah, I'm going to vote for him. Because the progressive movement needs more time to defeat the neoliberals. That's just a fact.
A Russian minesweeper in occupied Crimea, Ukraine's military has said.
Yeah,
another bad day for the Russian Black Sea Fleet. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry said on X alongside a photo of the Kovrovets inside a targeting site. Russia's defense ministry denied that its minesweeper had been destroyed in the attack and said that its air defense systems had shot down all of Ukraine's missiles.
Yeah,
a Kovrovets minesweeper is a special-purpose vessel tasked with searching for, detecting, and destroying naval mines and guiding ships through minefields. The destroyed ship had been modified and differed from its Soviet predecessors in having more advanced mine detection and destruction equipment and a lower acoustic field. It was 61 meters long and had a crew of almost 70 sailors. The Project 266M Aquamarine M minesweepers are designed to locate and neutralize sea mines and to escort other vessels through mined areas.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the NDP, the liberals wouldn't be achieving any of their supposed manifesto, any of their goals. The only reason why the liberals have any feathers in their cap is because the NDP is pushing them.
Kovrovets, launched in 1974, follows in the footsteps of a similar minesweeper, Ivan Golyevets, which suffered damage from a Ukrainian strike in Sevastopol Bay just last October.
Trudeau's lucky
but there
to
is
have,
information
the
that
NDP,
small rocket launcher ship Tsiklin has been destroyed, not Kovrovets. As a result of the strike, 6 servicemen of the Black Sea Fleet of the Russian Federation were killed, and another 11 people were injured. The ship itself sank. The Crimean Wind Telegraph...
Another dub for the Ukrainian Shadow Navy. It's unbelievable. Ukraine absolutely fighting back. R.I.P. Jack Layton. Why does that name sound so familiar? Welcome back, Blessed Up Kid. Jack Layton. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. I was like, that name is really familiar. Yeah, so this fella here is the former leader of the official opposition of Canada. I think he was very, very much beloved by Canadians. Yeah, okay. Canadian academic and politician who served as leader of the NDP. Yeah, so he was the NDP guy. Yeah, so this guy's always brought up when talking about, man, Jagmeet Singh, you know, maybe you should take off the Gucci, you know, take off the Rolex watch and all the designer goods and all the fancy stuff and start emulating Jack a little bit more. Jack brought the liberals to their knees, smoked them. Nice. Sounds like we should be doing a deep dive on Jack Layton very soon, because you know, it's one thing to win in politics. It's another thing to win on the left in politics. It's probably the most difficult political achievement, is to push society further to the left successfully. So yeah, we'll definitely be doing that very soon, and yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that meteor coming up here. But no, this is great news. Another dub for Ukraine. You love to see it. Oh my God, why really in the left channel like that? Really? Fighting rages near Ukraine's second largest city. So I just found some footage here from various channels, Canal, and whatever this is, What's 11, that apparently loves to put their audio in mono. Is that what I'm hearing?
This morning, Ukraine's military struggling.
Yeah, look, no, you got to cut this out, dog. Mono was like 1937. Okay, that's when they stopped doing mono on radio or something. I'm lying. All right, but it was like 100 million years ago we stopped fucking with mono. What are people doing?
To hold the line as Russia continues to bear down on its northeastern front.
This isn't even mono. This is just one channel.
Kharkiv, the city at the
You're right, Ken Goblin. It's not even mono. It's one fucking channel.
Threat.
God damn it.
We've been in Kharkiv a few days now, and every day we hear missiles.
This one's on the right.
Coming in on the city. This hit just a few hours ago. We actually heard it hit. We've got investigators here on the side.
This one's on the right side.
The house ruined, and you can see the crater there in the garden.
Yeah, so we
spoke to Marina. The missile landed just feet from her home. Her family
so we saw footage of this earlier.
After being displaced from fighting around Sloviansk.
Maria's story is sadly not uncommon. She's already on the move because of this war. She's lost her home elsewhere in Ukraine, and yet
poor thing. And she was probably just a couple days ago probably enjoying her life in her home. Life filled with worry, just like everyone else. And now look at this. And this is part of Putin's plan. Right? Because what Putin wants is for other Ukrainians to see this and go, oh yeah, well, if you either join Russia or this will happen to you. It's disgusting. Disgusting.
This war. She's lost her home elsewhere in Ukraine, and yet another bomb has found her.
Brandon
civilians are being forced to flee Vovchansk and
left,
other
and then the right, and then the left. This guy is an amateur. This is the amateur of amateurs. Okay, we're done with this. Okay, fix your shit, dude. Fix your shit. Moving on. Oh, this one I think it was from you, Davey. And most of the Twitter shit's from you. Like, I don't have the time for this fucking trash website. Even though there is still some news happening, getting spread with it. But it's just, ugh. Obviously a subliminal message being transmitted through the silent channel. That must be it. POV of a Brazilian volunteer in a heavy battle in the Crimea Forest, Luhansk region. Tracer rounds from a Russian BMP-BMD fly towards their position, but fortunately missed them. Look out for the anti-tank rocket that is fired. Yeah, Reddit. I'm not defending any social media over another, but yeah, no, I will take Reddit over Twitter in terms of news aggregation. Yeah, any day. With that said. I thought Blue Sky was going to rise right to the top. It's like, it really does show how, like, when society, because like Twitter reached up, to those like Facebook echelons, and it became almost like a utility. It became something so integral and so essential to daily life that it was, that we're still kind of like shocked that it's going through this transformation right in front of us, and we still are like reflexively using it because it's so useful to fucking society. So it's interesting to me that even though there's viable alternatives with Mastodon and Blue Sky, but it's just like, well, we've all been using Twitter for like 15 years, dude. You need to follow the people who make long posts or threads. Reading Twitter in the morning is like waking up to find my hair covered in dog shit. Yeah, that's basically like Reddit too. Davey, no, woke patriots 100% correct. Some of the most negative, contrarian, and on the left and the right and just the whole spectrum. Most of my Twitter right now is video game developers, because it's just the politics is just so disgusting. Like, the SDL guy is pretty good. The social democrat dude who's like makes it his job to call out the right wing on every post that they have, which is really refreshing. So the SDL guy is great, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm just not on that shit anymore. Yeah, I look for the news. I go straight for the news. And Twitter, I don't know, man. Anyway, so we got some more battle footage here. Frontline action. This time, this is a Brazilian volunteer, I guess is what, Brazilian volunteer. And I believe these volunteers are conscripted officially into the Ukrainian Foreign Legion, paid a wage. They are not mercenaries. So it is a different classification. And of course, when they're injured, they're treated properly. A lot of that shit doesn't happen for you if you're a mercenary.
Cuidado aí, metralhadora.
As many battle videos later, I try to only really post breaking news. Yeah, no, Davey, it's totally fine. I appreciate it. Thinking of the channel and thinking of me and trying to make the channel better. I appreciate those links and those posts. This is a fascinating video because, so many different countries are helping Ukraine. And yes, some of them are doing it for a paycheck, right? But that doesn't, this guy's putting up one hell of a fight, man. He's earning his fucking paycheck, that's for sure. Yeah, Russia too, yeah. I would say Russia's, yeah, Russia as well. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of different countries help out Russia. We've definitely seen that footage.
Cuidado aí, metralhadora. Manda.
All right, so this is so this is looped over. Fascinating footage though. Like right here, I don't know if it's the sun's going down or if the sun's coming up, but these guys are definitely not doing this for a paycheck. Yeah, I mean, it's not, they're getting a little something. They're getting a little something.
Nebs! Abaixa!
Yeah, so here comes the missile. Couple seconds.
Vai! Manda!
I have yet to see a video where I can see clearly what the hell anybody is shooting at. You know what I mean? Like the human eye, I'm sure the human eye is much better than the camera that we're looking through right now. But I've said it before, I'll say it again. There's no video game simulation that has ever accurately simulated what a real battlefield is like. I don't think they've even gotten close. I don't know, borderline feline. Seems like blind shooting. Well, maybe that's what he was ordered to do. I've seen a few, but we can't show them. Yeah, probably. Yeah, because of that. The thing I hate about Reddit is that the mods. Oh man, I tell you, dude. Act like damn liberal tyrants, and there is no way to stop them from No, man, Ace-Fram, Reddit is one of the most censored websites on planet Earth. And the justifications that mods have to give for removing content, pretty loosey-goosey, pretty fucking ridiculous. People clearly getting shot. Yeah, of course. No, it's feel free to post that in the Discord, of course, but yeah. Jeff Bezos doesn't like me showing that stuff. Arma's pretty good. Arma doesn't come close, man. You know, the ballistics are accurate, you know, the interactions are cool, and you know, all the different stuff you can do in Arma, it's really neat. But when it comes to like being in, you know, the sound, of course you can't do the smell, but the visuals, I don't know, man. I've yet to play a simulation that even gets close to anything that I've seen, even on these videos, you know. Yeah, Arma is pretty awesome. Yeah, okay, so that's the end of my Ukraine news. Sorry. Yeah, we're moving on, guys. Keeping it moving. I'm sorry. We're keeping it moving. Need a supercomputer to run that. Well, if Moore's Law wants to continue being Moore's Law, we'll have, you know, quadruple the computing power in 10 years, basically. So, you know, we're all carrying around you know, the CPU on your phone is 100 times more powerful than the computers that were used to fly man to the moon. You know what I mean? So, you know, you're literally, you know, 1960s supercomputer in your pocket. What do we got? This is just some bullshit. I just wanted to talk about various things here. Yeah, until we get to the right-wing stuff. Yeah, the whistleblower stuff. Yeah, we'll just call these headlines. Maybe a quantum computer, 8-bit qubit tech. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting how quantum computing is progressing, but it's still not as powerful as conventional computing. So, you know, quantum computing, maybe it's at the very start, kind of like, you know, computing was way back in the, you know, 50s and 60s, and it's going to take several decades to actually catch up. I don't know. I really don't know. Quantum's only good at certain kinds of problems. That's another good point. Yeah. Arma 3 is damn good. So this was a link posted in the Discord, and I wanted to show it here because this just gives you an idea, you know. So I famously say, so I'm sorry, Jeff. I hate to point this out. You know, I'll see you at the next barbecue. You know, say hello to Mimi for me. But no, for real though, Jeff Bezos is an innovator. His main innovation is bringing third world working standards and techniques to the first world. You know, timing your bathroom breaks, biometrics, you know, a system of churn and a burnout and churn and replacement, and, you know, building your business model off that instead of, you know, trying to keep employees happy, you know, grind them and work them out. You know, of course, you know, mega union busting, all that shit. But that's where his true innovation is. And of course, Elon Musk is, you know, trying to do similar things. And anybody that wants to emulate Jeff Bezos, Walmart, you know, Walmart was kind of there before. You know, if anything, Jeff Bezos is learning from Walmart. But you get what I'm saying. right? It's the Peter principle. I've never heard of that. But you know, it's like I said, bringing these third world working standards, you know, sweatshops in India, that kind of stuff. Is this miscreant? Oh, Skane Steve. I haven't heard that name in years. Good old Skane Steve. Hey, buddy, it is good to see you. Yeah, I do politics now. I don't really stream Miscreated. I hope you're doing well. Well, all the old Miscreated crew. Is Alan playing games again? Is he streaming again? What's going on? All the old Miscreated crews getting back together. Amazon delivery people pee in bottles in their trucks. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to talk about with this video here. This is just another example of, you know, the kind of tyranny we can expect. The more power we allow these oligarchs in our lives, the larger we allow Amazon to become. You need the mask again. Yeah. They better be buying their own pee bottles. Those are Amazon bottles, son. But no, so I want to show this video here because I mean it goes much more deep than union busting. And here's an example of how, you know, they make the rat race even tighter, so that if you're not on top of things, if you're not, you know, they make requesting time off competitive. They gamify it, so now it's you versus your fellow employee. An exec will peter out when they're promoted one level beyond their competence, and they stay in the job they can't do. Oh, that is interesting, Ace. I've never heard of that before. Good to see you. I haven't either been here or lurking now and then. I'm not too much into politics. Well, Skane, I would ask that, you know, this, you know, people always say this, but this is actually the most important election of your life. And I would ask that you try to pay a little bit more attention. With that said, it is really good to see you, Skane. And like I was telling, what was the other fella that came in there earlier? What the hell was his name? Hold on, I got it up here. Fiasco. Like I was telling Fiasco, dude, you know, if we want to pop into a game of Miscreated or Scum, really, we should be playing Scum because that's where the players are at. Let me know. Hit me up on Steam or hit me up on Twitch if I don't have you on Steam anymore. But it's so cool. All the other Miscreated guys are coming back. What the hell? If you don't know what Miscreated is, it's a video game we used to play. It was a survival game. It's very fun. Very fun. All right, let's get to this video here. This is just another way that Jeff Bezos is pitting the worker against the worker when the worker should be unifying and, of course, fighting against the owner class. No DayZ. I'm down for some DayZ, but I prefer Scum. I don't know, but DayZ's really cool as well. I can jump into some DayZ, no problem. I like Scum, dude. It's something else. It really is something else. Just gonna hit refresh here.
Imagine if every time you wanted time off of work, it was like trying to buy a PS5 in 2020. Impossible. Amazon warehouse workers are able to claim what the company calls voluntary time off, or VTO.
So listen to that. Voluntary time off. Isn't that okay? Listen to what this is about.
Which gets dished out on a first come, first serve basis.
First come, first serve basis. Isn't that cute? Well, you want to do a vacation, you got to, you know, normal office workers can just, you know, most 90% of the time, unless there's like a crunch period or something, usually near the end of a quarter or a holiday or something. But normal 9 to 5 office folks can just go, hey, I need this week off, right? We're going to Disneyland, or I need to play Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out, right? We're doing, and you could just request that, and then your boss goes, yeah, no problem, here you go. But no, if you work for Amazon, if you work for Jeff Bezos, you got to fight amongst your fellow employees to get any time off. And if you're incapable of working with, metagaming this, and you'll see there's programs to bot this to make sure that you get time off. If you're incapable of doing that, you basically get scalped out of your time, out of any potential time off. Yeah, Davey. So great example, right? He's working in an office right now, office situation, right? And it's like, look, I understand, this is logistics. It's a different kind of, business here. But as you can see, the model pits you against your fellow worker.
basis to employees. But similar bots that made it impossible to get a 3090 a little while back are being used to auto-accept days off for those willing to pay for it. Amazon employees typically get a finite amount of unpaid time off, and if they go over their allotted amount, they run the risk of losing their job. So VTO prevents your run-of-the-mill normal days off from being wasted on other things. There's always a limited number of slots available.
So to be fair, you do have, outside of this VTO, I think you do have, you know, certain allotted time off. So it's not your only source of time off, but it's a way to, like I said, pit you against your worker, your fellow worker, and to make your life less flexible, right? To force you to be coming in, well, I wasn't able to get VTO. Sorry, I won't be able to come to your graduation, honey. You know, we took that vacation a couple months ago, and that was all my allotted time off. I don't have any extra time off. I need to do VTO, and I didn't download a script from GitHub because I don't know how to do that because I just handle packages, and that's okay if, you know, everyone doesn't need to know how to use a computer in society. That's okay. But because I'm not a nerd and I don't know how to download a fucking DDoS script or some shit, some fucking batch script that I got to run from GitHub, I got to program it, you know, all kinds of shit. Apparently it's designed to emulate human movements, right? So it doesn't trick your boss. So you can trick your boss into thinking it was human. Amazing stuff, right? But, you know, imagine, you know, you're a mother of 3, you know what I mean? You're working 9 to 5, you know, you don't know how to download a script from GitHub. You don't know what the fuck's going on with that. You know, you're just like, I don't know, the VTO system doesn't work. There's never VTO for me because it's getting gamed by people, you know, by youngsters who know how to game the system better. But it, like I said, it puts you versus the youngsters. Why is that even the case? I want to go to my daughter's graduation. Why the hell is that a problem?
For VTO too, so once the bots snatch it up, you're out of luck, which opens up a whole business economy for black market bots made by former Amazon workers and understand how to navigate the menus of employee app in a way that seems human, so not to draw attention to the accounts that are being used on it. Imagine if every time you wanted time off of work.
Yeah, so it just loops annoyingly, and it's hard to keep up. But no, you get the point. And they would advertise it as like, oh, this is worker choice. This is choice for the worker. And oh, look, you can, you know, this is great. And it gamifies it. It's really safe or it's really fair. No, it's not fair. It's not human. You know, I don't want to treat my voluntary, I don't want to treat, you know, time off as like a rare Pokemon on eBay, you know, and now I got to hit F5 refresh just to get just so I can go to my goddamn kid's graduation, et cetera, whatever it is, because it's real life. You know, you never know what it is. You know, your kid breaks his leg. Who knows? Oh, I got to take some time off. Real life happened. Oh, well, did you get the VTO? No, I wasn't able to get the VTO because a bunch of fuckheads used GitHub scripts. Well, it's not my problem. You know, look, if you don't show up tomorrow, you don't have a job. Welcome to Amazon. Fuck you. That's how it works. And if you don't think this shit's going to get worse, holy shit. If you don't think the top dogs, you know, what they do bleeds into the rest of the industry, you know, then you're ignoring the example of Walmart, which set standards for how retail was exploitative across the board. Everyone emulating Walmart's tactics, but no one able to really reach that Walmart peak because Walmart had such buying capacity. They were able to, like, you know, do like a McDonald's and just buy whole farms and, you know, just lock down the whole sector. So no one can reach that kind of height, you know, but they sure as hell tried. You know, they sure as hell like that idea of, you know, forcing your employees to use government assistance for healthcare, etc. Anyway, moving on to the next clip. I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry. I love you. I love you, Jeff. I'll see you at the next barbecue. So I hate doing this, but I have to bring this up because, you know, Just Stop Oil, their heart's in the right place, but not like this, dog. Look, I get the whole point of it, of what these Just Stop Oil guys are doing, like with throwing shit at the Mona Lisa, you know, blocking traffic. They're trying to say, what's more important, this crap in a museum and the Magna Carta, you know, don't call it crap, right? But it's, you know, this stuff cars that, you know, they go to like auto shows and you know, and disrupt auto shows. It's like, you know, how important are, you know, is this Bentley versus the environment versus everyone's life? Literally everyone on the planet is going to be affected and is affected by climate change, as we've seen just recently with the tornado incidents happening. No one incident can be tied to climate change, but climate change acts as a catalyst on all climate, meaning that things that used to be quite anomalous are happening on a more regular basis, and that's going to continue to get worse. Things are going to get bigger. Things are going to get worse. It's a copy, no way they had the original there. Well, that's okay because they're 80 and they're not able to break the glass. Spoiler alert. Oh, I'll get to the video here, but I'm just trying to say it's like I agree with most of what Just Stop Oil is doing. You know, the blocking of the traffic I think should be more directed. You know, I give Davey that one little thing, but he says no, all protesting of course needs to be a certain way. Sorry, Davey, don't mean to call you out. But I don't agree with that sentiment that protesting can't be, you know, it shouldn't be disruptive. Protesting should be disruptive. So, you know, Just Stop Oil in the right place. But this kind of shit, look, throwing crap against the Mona Lisa that is covered in plexiglass. There's no way you can hurt it. And it's, you know, they wipe it down and then 10 minutes later, you know, they get out the fucking Windex, wipe it down. And then 10 minutes later, everyone's back to their, you know, you get your news headline and then everything's back to normal and no one gets hurt. That's okay. I'm not tripping about that. I think it should be disruptive for the people you are actually protesting, everyday citizens. Yeah, that's impossible, David. What you are advocating for is the nullification of protesting. There's not a single successful protest movement that you could point to that would reach that level of standard. I on principle I agree. But you are setting a standard so high you would nullify all protest. So no, back to this here. Throw fucking mustard against the Mona Lisa covered in glass. I'm not tripping. If the Mona Lisa was what painting would be the most valuable one in the world, probably a Banksy. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. The whole value of art is complete. It's just like video games right now. It's just some rich guy's fucking, you know, way to park money for rich idiots, you know. So the value of Mario 64 is like, are you kidding me? Mario 64, one of the most common fucking games, is going for thousands of dollars. Are you joking? Are you joking? It's clearly fraud. So it's the same thing with art. So the whole idea of what's more valuable is completely ridiculous to me because it's like the rich have completely ruined it. All right, the true steel. What if we take the bad climate, push it somewhere else? I'm sorry, I don't watch SpongeBob, but that does sound pretty funny. Yeah, just push it out of the way. Anyway, so let's watch the clip here. I've done enough talking about it, but I just look. Their heart's in the right place. Instead of what they're doing here, they should have just thrown some shit. Throw some mustard. Throw some, not even paint. Just throw some food. Throw some ketchup, right? And then make your statement. Don't do this shit. Don't do this shit with the fucking... See what I mean here? They control the art piece fixing or whatever. They own the biggest collection in the world. Yeah. Salvador Mundi by apparently 450 million. So it's, look, your heart's in the right place. You're gonna break... You want to break that? You really want to break that shit?
This famous document is about the rule of
yes,
law.
Can you come to...
And standing up against an abuse
Yes, I'm receiving
of power. Our government is breaking
come
its
to my
own
Jakarta, please?
laws. As a Christian, I
Yes,
am
sir. Can you come
compelled to do all that I can
Can you stop doing that, please? Stop filming, please, eh?
to
Can you stop doing that?
alleviate the appalling suffering that's
come to
coming
my
down the
Jakarta, over,
line
please?
and is here already.
Can you stop doing
Whatever
that,
it
please?
takes,
Can
whatever
you
the
stop filming,
cost.
please? Can you stop doing that?
So we must
Stop doing that, please. Did you hear me?
just
shut
stop.
up. Not them,
Yes,
but the
sir.
security
Come to my
guard.
Jakarta, over?
Yeah.
We must just
No, I don't think they should shut up, but the security guard. Just you're waiting for the cops to get there. Okay, just shut up. Come on, they're 80 years old, man. Just let them speak.
Did you hear me?
just stop
Yes, sister, can I come to my cut over?
We must just stop oil.
Glasses. I'm on my way. Can you stop for me, please?
I think they were washing their hands. Okay, look, so their heart's in the right place. I agree with the general idea, which is like, what's more important, humanity or these trinkets that we have in a museum? And it's like, well, yeah, obviously what's more important is, mine and my children's future, and our humanity's future, right? Ultimately, you would think that, but they're pointing out, no, our government, the companies that run our life, they are not concerned with our future. They're not concerned with our children's future. They're perfectly okay fucking over the future to make profit right now, to enrich themselves right now. So that's the whole, just stop oil, which is like, just stop oil. We have the technology. We're there. We're at this point. Technically we could. Yeah, Davey, but who cares about a trinket in a museum if no one's going to be there to fucking visit? That's the whole point. It's going to be literally some, ancient, it's going to be like some video game, right? Where you come upon a planet. Oh, the civilization killed itself. And well, look at this cool alien museum filled with a bunch of dusty artifacts from their civilization, but they ended up killing themselves. Very tragic. Well, anyway, so I like their heart's in the right place. Okay. I don't agree with Davey and his ridiculous standard for what is a legitimate protest. I would like to see, though, less, going after the corporations and governments that are doing this, right, and less, I don't know, attempting to destroy Magna Cartas. Okay, look, I don't, I bet you in their head, things, they were like, man, we nailed this one, right? We're literally going to nail this one. We fucking got this one. People are, I bet you in their head. All right. Well, better luck next time to these brave folks, and I hope maybe after they've, hey, look, you've already gone this far, keep going, but pivot. Direct, pivot. A for effort. But let's pivot. Let's take that energy and head it in a different direction. Over here, so this is a link from Woke Patriot, and he posted this because Woke Patriot is very quick to remind us that the opinion that people have, that the West has, of China is very skewed. And usually this is in context of like when, the context of this is like usually when we're talking about the Chinese economy, that the Chinese economy is not great. They're lying pretty extensively. They're covering up a lot of the fraud that's happening. Avangrid, a great example, but they're not the only one. The very nature of the Chinese economy, how foreign entities are really not allowed to participate in a lot of it. It's like it's very closed off and isolated. But it of course wants to profit from foreign exploitation, yada yada yada. So this video doesn't really cover the economic. How is it closed off? Well, you just look it up. Foreign entities, like, you're not allowed to participate in the Chinese stock market. I mean, you can sell products in China, but you're not allowed to like manipulate their stock market like they're allowed to manipulate other stock market. Yeah, you see, Woke Patriot, I don't, that basically lets China off the hook completely. So anyway, I guess Woke Patriot posted this, and as an effort to say, hey, the West has it wrong about China. Quite frankly, though, after watching this before getting this segment ready, I decided to watch this whole clip. This just seems like straight up pro-China propaganda. So I'll let the chat be the judge. Okay, no more preamble. But you tell me if you think this is like genuine. I don't have any reason to disagree with her, but I do feel like, and it's only a 40-second clip, okay? But I do feel like this is kind of propagandistic.
The media coverage is created with a very Western mindset. I grew up in Shanghai. I had a great childhood. The media does have a lot of negative coverage at the moment of China, which isn't very accurate in the sense that a lot of it's covered by people who don't make the effort to actually completely understand the situation, because China is a completely different world. So I think a lot of the views and the media coverage is created with a very Western mindset. Bringing friends to China and traveling with them here, everyone always says it, and it's so different to how the media covers it. So I think the only way for people to actually completely understand is to experience it firsthand. And I do encourage everybody to come to China.
So I mean, just totally harmless statements. You know, I can't do anything but agree with what she's saying. It sounds, you know, and it's like how obviously the editing was really choppy at the beginning when she was saying I had a great childhood and, you know, I grew up in Shanghai, I had a great childhood. Very choppy editing there, but whatever. So, you know, totally harmless statements, but, you know, so Woke Patriot said foreign entities not being allowed to ransack China is the source of most quote-unquote China economy is collapsing rhetoric that's been going on for decades. I'm not going to deny. How you doing, Hutton? Seth Rogen is my cousin. I am related to a famous person. You should. His fame is basically my fame, and you should treat me with the same. Like you should treat me like a full-blown A-list celebrity, just like Joe Rogan, because he's my cousin legally and in perpetuity. I have the documentation somewhere. Please don't ask me to prove it, but. I am absolutely related to Joe Rogan, and I am just as famous as Joe Rogan. So you should, you know, worship me, basically. Yeah, 100% truth. It's very true. Joe Rogan, Seth Rogen is my cousin. He's prove it. Oh no, come on. You know, there's so many pictures of us together at Hollywood galas. I mean, do I even really need to prove it? I mean, come on, guys. I mean, at this point, it's the evidence speaks for itself, is what I'm trying to say. You can only truly experience a place if you go to it. Who would have thought? No, I agree with that statement. As usual, you get our choice of propaganda. No, I mean, Woke Patriot. Okay, look, I'm not going to deny that China is vilified in a certain way. There is a bias of Western media coverage of China. But I want a blood sample. Oh my God, I'm in trouble, guys. Okay, I'm already over my head with this lie. Okay, I haven't even gotten any of the benefit from the celebrity yet. Okay, can I please benefit from being Seth Rogen's pretend cousin for a little bit, please? Let me ride this a little bit, huh? Come on, guys, be good for the stream. They lived in China for like 15 years. Yeah. So, Davey, that's actually the story of my wife's parents. They had to get the hell out of China. It was, they were mildly successful business people. They had some businesses or something like that. And the government came in, shut them all down, took it all over, starting to seize their assets. And they just they had to escape. They had to leave. Can I have your autograph? I might get legally in trouble. All right. So no. So back to this here, Woke Patriot. I don't deny that there's bias. Do you admit that China is not being honest about their economy in general? Maybe it's not as bad as the naysayers say, but surely you do acknowledge that China is not being honest about what's happening, especially when you see things like Avangard happen the way they happen, just like trillions of dollars goes up in flames and the economy is just humming along. It must be that. It's just the power of communism, right? The factory I was dealing with in China was taken over by the government. Yeah, I mean, it's a common story. So that's, I guess, if we can try to meet halfway there, Woke Patriot. Interesting, though, I did see this reply. There's not too many replies on this comment, and one of the highest replies is, "Oh, you sweet summer child, You are mistaking the mask for substance. So is this Western bias? Maybe. But this is, I believe, a picture of the, like concentration camps that they've been building, basically, for dissidents and Uyghurs and people that would dare to push back against China. That's probably what we're looking at here, maybe. And then, of course, we have a screenshot from, as everyone knows, China's incredibly authoritarian police state. Now that doesn't mean that their economy is as bad as everyone says it is, right? The fact that they're extremely authoritarian and frightening, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Western lies about China's economy, yada yada. China's honesty is as questionable as the U.S. government's honesty. So you're just whatabouting. Yeah, I try to reach out and to try to get some compromise. Okay, I'll agree. There's bias there. Surely, though, you would agree that there's at least some reason to be raising an eyebrow at the Chinese economy, that it's not the the juggernaut that's about to surpass the U.S. dollar coming up as the threats are. There's only so far that either government can immediately do on its own, and ultimately both truth and lies become fairly evident with these economies. I mean, situations like Avangard, man, make me question that. Trillions of dollars up in smoke. And everything just humming along like normal. Ghost cities being built. Fucking whole town centers and cities being built with no one living in them. I don't know. This person is definitely, you can go to China and see for yourself. There is only one truth. So this is the person who posted that video right here, long. So kind of, okay. Only one truth. I mean, it's true. There's only one reality. And what she said was totally innocuous. So, I don't know. You tell me, folks. You tell me. I asked you if you thought it was propaganda, and literally no one. We were all talking about me looking like Seth Rogen. No one gives a shit. Here's something Woke Patriot and I can agree on completely, for sure. That the Afghanistan invasion was a complete and total fucking disaster. And the pullout could have been done a whole lot smoother. I'm more versed in Chinese propaganda. I could probably reply directly to this one. I mean, look, both sides are doing a really good job of gaslighting and confusing and not telling the truth. So, like, I don't think it's fair for anyone to say that they 100% have a bead on what the fuck is going on with China. I don't think anyone can claim that because it's really hard to get solid data on that. But no, I think we can all agree Afghanistan was a total fucking disaster. Getting in was a total mistake, unjustified, did not protect U.S. interests, didn't help the United States in any kind of way, got a lot of military contractors rich, so yippee skippy for Halliburton, was not necessary. And of course the pullout by Joe Biden was of course something that it's a good thing to get out of a conflict after 18 years. Not so good in the way that Joe Biden did it. As I've said many times before, Joe Biden decided one of the last things he wanted to do before he left was a little massacre on Afghanistan civilians. And it just so happened to be on a person who was totally pro-U.S., totally was on the U.S.'s side. But right before Joe Biden gets out of here, decides to kill a bunch of kids. I just look at things like China. Yeah. And there's definitely worry about China's EV industry as we see the tariffs, 100% tariff on China EV vehicles, basically guaranteeing that, you won't see very many of those on the streets. 100% tariff, that means you're paying double, right? All right, so anyway, Afghanistan, total failure from beginning to end. Thank goodness we got out of there, but it's a damn shame that it was a person like Joe Biden who I guess has never had to pull out in his life. I guess, I don't know. It was pretty fucking embarrassing, right? It was like, Vietnam 2.0 with the people falling off the airplane. Last plane out of Saigon, last helicopter out of Saigon situation. People falling off the helicopter. Same thing in Afghanistan. You're telling me that was unavoidable? That he couldn't have prevented that? Couldn't have done a more staged and phased pullout instead of a 17-hour, 14-hour, episode of the fucking Benny Hill show. Got out of there so quick. Fucking, guy's pants still down. He's running out with pants on his ankles. Whoa, where the hell did everybody go? Holy shit, this whole air base is totally vulnerable to the Taliban. Whoa, what the fuck just happened? Guy takes a shit, all the U.S. soldiers, woo, gone. Fucking hot dog spinning like a like a what am I thinking of? Like a hubcap. Remember that well in the 6 o'clock news? Yeah. People were like, "Oh, we're still in Afghanistan? Oh, yeah, I guess it's a good thing we left." But video drone strike the U.S. military that killed 10 civilians in Afghanistan in August 2021. So once again, I don't disagree with pulling out, but man, Joe, you fucked up, dude. This could have, you could have brought so many more people with you. There were women in Afghanistan who were going to college, who were getting degrees. That were left completely abandoned by the United States. And you're telling me we don't have room for these people? We fuck up their country for 18 fucking years or something around there? And we can't take a couple more thousand with, the tens of... We don't have room for, 50,000 of these people? You're kidding me. It's the least we could do. The least we could have done is for several months tell the Afghanistan people... Yeah, we're winding this down. If you want citizenship, hop on. Free citizenship for fucking anybody who wanted to leave, dude. Oh, we can't handle it. We can't handle it. Well, we should have thought of that before we fucked up the whole country. You know what I'm saying? It's completely ridiculous that we think, we don't owe them anything. We don't owe them anything. We fucked them. For George Bush's politics, man. Can you imagine? Over George Bush. So, but instead of that, it was a rushed 14-hour Benny Hill style race to the finish line, and then as a nice little crescendo, a little war crime, nice little cherry on top. And here's what it is. Here's what it looked like. Oh, it's ISIS-K. ISIS-K, guys. Dude was like a U.S. aid worker. There's a bunch of kids. Bunch of fucking kids, man. Wildly unnecessary. Wildly unnecessary. So I reported on the News Underground like a week after it happened that this was not ISIS-K. Yeah, 3 weeks later. That's probably when I reported it. Look at this. An Afghan who worked for an NGO and intended to immigrate to the U.S. He's like Uncle Sam #1. Look at the goddamn kids. But Joe. Oh, tragic mistake. This is why lefties need to be consistent on the military-industrial complex when we're talking about things like Ukraine. Because there are serious gaps in accountability for this institution. And while the broken clock is right on Ukraine, and thank goodness, these kind of incidents cannot go unpunished. Tragic mistake, and then we move on with our lives. You know why? Because they'll keep happening without accountability. So, just wanted to give you my thoughts on that. It's disgusting stuff, man, because I was like, oh, great, we're getting out of Afghanistan. And then, Nice little murder cherry right on top. Bunch of kids getting blown up by U.S. weapons. How much did that cost me, Joe? Taking money directly out of my fucking paycheck. And even though I'm living in Canada, I still got to pay fucking taxes for this fucking system. How much that cost me? 50 cents? 60 cents? It's 1 penny too much, Joe. I don't want my name on that fucking missile. All right, so moving on. Whistleblowers have been in the news with Boeing. Yeah, Woke Patriot, unfortunately it does. So, you know, whistleblowers have been in the news. Boeing Watch, everyone's favorite news segment. Boeing Watch. All about that Boeing Watch, right? So whistleblowers have been in the news. So this is really interesting video, literally titled, "If You're Seeing This, I'm in Jail." So this fella here from Wikipedia, David William McBride, born 15 December 1963, is an Australian whistleblower and former British Army major and Australian Army lawyer. In 2016, McBride provided the Australian Broadcasting Corporation with documents that contained information about war crimes committed by Australian soldiers in Afghanistan. So that's why these two are together here. You know, it was a coalition, right? After 9/11, we're going to help, you know. The first time, what was it? Article 4, Article 2, Article 3, NATO was engaged, which is like, you know, every country that's a member of NATO has to contribute to this quagmire that achieved nothing. So aren't we so glad that the first time this really, really important article was engaged was with a total waste of time and money that embarrassed the West? The entire NATO and the West got defeated by the Taliban. That's a fact. That's a fact. You think they mention that at the military conferences when they're showing off missiles? Oh yeah, we got our ass kicked in Afghanistan. Holy shit! Man, no amount of technology saved us from sandal wearing, Bible thumpers in the mountains. We couldn't do shit about it. So anyway, it wasn't just America in Afghanistan. So I guess I should just do Australian whistleblower as the description here. But this is definitely relevant to America and its disgusting, unnecessary, money-wasting, life-wasting Afghanistan military adventure. Was that brought up in the Ellen interview with George Bush, by the way? Iraq and Afghanistan, was that brought up? I don't watch scat porn, so I don't really watch the Ellen show. But maybe if some of you scat aficionados have seen that interview with Ellen and George Bush, if you could tell me if Iraq and Afghanistan were brought up. I have my doubts. So anyway, Australian whistleblower sent to jail, and this is the video that he had prepared for in case that happened, and it happened, and here we go. This is what happens when you tell the truth about empires and the crimes that they commit. Yeah, Soviet.
There we go.
All right, Dave. So this is a bit more of a sobering video. This is one we're recording in case the outcome isn't what we want it to be.
Former military lawyer David McBride has been sentenced to 5 years and 8 months jail in the ACT Supreme Court for sharing classified military documents with journalists.
It's titled, "If You're Watching This, I'm Going to Prison." But what would be your message to people in the instance where you have to go to prison?
If you're watching this, I'm in prison. Again, all I can do is thank the supporters. I'm not going to complain. I went into this with my eyes open. I always said I would go to prison with my head held up high, and it may be that I need to go to prison in order to fix this country. We need to look at how this country can pretend that I'm a national security threat when there are so many other things wrong with it. So much bribery, so much corruption, even war criminals that haven't been in jail, and leaders of our completely failed war effort, 20 years, $6 trillion, 41 Australians, good Australian soldiers dead, and no one has had to answer for it except for me, because I have damaged national security. I will sit in jail, I will get stronger in jail. We will build our forces. Plenty of people down through the ages have been in jail and have come out stronger, so don't worry about me. Maybe if you can, if you know my family, if you know my team, extend a helping hand, extend some love to my family. It won't be that easy for my girls, but they're strong girls. And when I tried to explain to them, or my wife, ex-wife Sarah did, to say, you understand Dad might be in jail, they were like, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, which I just love. They're not scared. They're a chip off the old block, and they are proud of me. Do not go silent until I'm out. I believe we'll win on an appeal. I believe the High Court will eventually have to say that we can't put people in jail for doing their jobs.
Thank you, Davey, for. I was really hoping somebody would do this. Thank you, Davey, for posting. Like I said, there's clear evidence. I don't need a blood test. I don't need. Look, I hang out with my cousin Seth Rogen all day at Hollywood's. Look, this is the one where the interview. Remember the James Franco movie? It was terrible. Kim Jong. It was like about North Korea. Yeah, I went to the premiere because he's my cousin. See, we went there. Thank you very much, Davey, for posting what is clear evidence of my association with top celebrity Seth Rogen, who is a family member. Therefore, I'm basically just as famous and talented as he is, and you should treat me as such. So thank you so much, Davey. Obvious. It's so ridiculous. People asking me for proof and blood tests, and Seth Rogen's lawyers telling me to stop. Seth, you can't stop genetics, Seth. What the lawyers can't stop our DNA. We have the same blood flowing together, Seth. We're brothers, you and me. We're brothers. We're cousins.
As a military lawyer, what do you think my job would be if not to pick up on
Thank you, David.
Potential illegal activity within the organisation that I was meant to police? I did my job. Put me in jail. My head.
And that's the thing about whistleblowers, because they if you know they pretend like there is a system for whistleblowers to tell the truth, because they want people to think like they're institutions that are transparent and holding themselves accountable. But when actual whistleblowers, embarrass them, what do? They lock it down, especially if it's a government entity. And in the case of Julian Assange, we see some of the most authoritarian actions from so-called democracies I think I've ever seen in my life. The moment the United States gets their hands on this guy, they're going to lock him away in a cold cell, basically torture him. And that's not how it should be. That's not how it should be. Okay? The American public has the right to know, the Australian public, the public of all humanity, but of course democracies, have the right to know what they're paying for, what their governments are doing, and they should have the ability to say, okay, I agree with that action, I disagree with that action. Right? People see pictures of U.S. soldiers executing Nazi soldiers. That's not going to make them, pro-Nazi. They see them executing Vietnamese civilians. Oh well, yeah, I don't like that. I don't agree with that. That's up to the person. That's up to the democracy. And of course, the governments of these so-called democracies will do everything in their power to prevent that. How'd you go? Sorry, did you cover Trump trail yet? We did 5 seconds on Trump. Yeah, we did 5 seconds. I'm sorry. Is there? We talked about Cohen. Some lawyer wore a blue tie and a blue suit, and Trump looked at them. Trump trial. Is there any relevant information you would like us to cover, Trailhead? Because I've just, I don't want to hear the name Michael Cohen ever in my life ever again.
Will be held up high. I may have been a bit emotional when I was sentenced, But I can assure you, once the dust
tears,
is settled and the exhaustion is gone, I will look back on this and be so grateful to everybody who supported it. And anyone who supported me, don't think this is a failure. This is a victory. We're going to win this. And when we do finally win it, it will be so, so fucking sweet.
And we're done. Man, I love Australians. Aren't they man, Australians are the shit. I wish I had some Australian friends. I really do, because they're so cool. All right, and yeah, we'll cover some Trump stuff after this video.
First Australian to go to jail over the alleged war crimes in Afghanistan is the whistleblower that brought the allegations to the public's attention.
Well, there was quite a vocal reaction inside the courtroom from supporters sitting in the public gallery. The judge at one point suggested he might clear the gallery if they didn't quieten down.
But pleaded guilty to 3 charges, including theft.
I'm gonna get DMC fucking aid, man. Why are you putting a licensed track on this shit? This isn't TikTok. I want to share this stuff. Do not put licensed tracks on videos that you want to go viral and share. For the love of God. No, we'll do Trump after this one. It's fine, whatever.
And sharing more than 200 documents classified as secret with members of the press.
Mr. McBride, of course, was taken away to jail, but
he's on the move.
I'm gonna get in trouble. I can't show the rest of this. I can't show the rest of this amazing clip because of the fucking music. I can't.
For your service.
I can't. It's got the whole track in there. No, the robots are really good, dude. They probably already nailed me. They probably already nailed me for showing more than 15 seconds. I can't show the rest of this. If you want to see the rest of it, it's right here. But yeah, you know, this is, you know, it's the crimes of the Afghanistan war absolutely should be exposed. This man's a hero to humanity and to the truth and you know, and to the concept of justice. He should not be thrown away in jail. He should be, you know, remembered. I don't know about a statue, but you know what I'm saying. All right, real quick. Trump update. Let's get a Trump update. Let's get it. I just typed in random letters. That's cool. I'm having a stroke. Excuse me. Just real quick. Just a quickie stroke. All right, let's type in Trump. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? All right, filter. No, I want the latest. I want the absolute last hour. I want the latest Trump. Trump lawyer stunt backfires in front of jury. Midas touch. Oh, God, don't make me do it. Trump freezes. Okay, yeah, so David Pakman talking about this. It's not a, I don't know. People saying this is like a Mitch McConnell moment, the whole Trump freezing thing. I think we're overlooking it. I've kind of done this before where I'm like, okay, like I'm on a roll, I'm doing something, then I kind of like stop just, you know, because I like, okay, then I kind of forget what I'm transitioning to. Then I need to think about, what am I going to talk about? And then it looks like I'm sitting there like I've kind of done the same thing. I think lefties are kind of overlooking or looking too deep into this Trump freezes for 35 seconds thing. I guess I'll show the clip.
Completely unable to speak.
Yeah, completely unable to speak. Blah, blah, blah. Pakman, enough with the hyperbolic clickbait shit,
35 seconds.
I get it. It's the industry, though. I get it. It's how it works. But yeah, if you want to see here, he'll show the clip here. 35 seconds. Yeah, he's, you know, because all the partisans are trying to fight this battle of like, oh, well, they say Joe Biden's a senile, and look, Trump's one senile. Oh my God, spare me. Unfollow. I don't remember following my channel. They don't really take view of everything. The video tells. They'd stretch the truth. And the same thing with BTC, who I was really enjoying at first, but then is like clearly like trying to get a job at MSNBC. Hitler would freeze for like 5 minutes. Really, I didn't know that.
Extended or exaggerated in any way. You'll hear the music start and Trump freezes, some calling it a terrifying cognitive moment.
Nation in the history of the world.
You're not helping, Pakman. They've added music. But I mean, it doesn't look like a brain fart. It looks like, you know, he thinks he's on a roll. He thinks he's got something. It's not, I mean, Mitch McConnell was like, you know, like he was, you know, no offense to, you know, people of that age. Okay, I'm not trying to, you know, age shame or anything, but dude had like a moment, you know. He had some kind of, you know, piece of, you know, toast from 1947, you know, floated over his brain for a couple seconds. But yeah, the Pac-Mans, the Midas touches, you know, making a big thing out of this. Stop. Okay, this is the, you know, instead of trying to clickbait and you know, lowering yourself to Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity levels of hyperbolic stupidity, this is your opportunity to talk about something that's more important. Oh yeah, oh wow, so damaging. He's not drooling, he's not having, I'm not seeing this. I'm not seeing the mental, you know, like Mitch McConnell stuff. Oh, Pac-Man, oh yeah, oh wow, oh, this is so embarrassing. Are you kidding me? The bootlickers that love this man are fucking bask in his greatness.
But now,
yeah, okay, yeah, it was a failed attempt at drama, and I also think he got a little, I think he did have like a little hang up about, you know, what, you know, I think that's it. But I don't seen, you know. This is, you know, clearly he's yeah, the slurring of the words, the whole slurring of the words thing as well was like, you know, like I've heard him do that before, you know, and it's like, I don't know, I'm not seeing this evidence that he's senile. But okay, hold on, let's see. Michael Cohen's testimony concludes. All right, let's get a couple minutes. Oh God, this guy Glenn Kirshner. He's a Midas Touch guy. Is there anybody else that isn't fucking Midas Touch or right-wing hack? Oh, Jesse Dollemore is all right. I like Jesse Dollemore, I think. He's just doing the partisan Trump tells insane, confused lies. Yeah, no, I just want information. I don't want partisans. Watch protesters shout over. Okay, this is kind of funny. We should probably show this. News Nation. I'll show a News Nation clip, huh? Just go full fash.
Partisan witch hunt has one purpose.
Welcome back, Matt. This is funny, getting shouted on. This is great.
And it's to keep President Trump off the campaign trail.
Sorry, that's my browser having a complete fit. Like, how dare you open a new
What we're seeing today is the prosecution of a person because of who he is, not what he is alleged to do.
This judge has taken the blindfold off of Lady Justice.
What we have across the street is not justice. And I wish each and every one of you could be in that courtroom to see the sham that's taking place.
President Trump is going to help us make America great once again.
There are haters and there are people who love him. And you know what? We're all going to find out what that really is like come November.
Yeah. All right. You think you know, 3 sheets to the wind, Shaky McGee, I need a fucking a whiskey sour immediately, is going to accept the results of a free and fair election? Yeah, it's about damn time. I totally agree with that. All right. Last little bit of Trump here. Let's just get a couple minutes of. I'm curious. Let's see how News Nation is framing this. Now, if you don't know who News Nation are, they're incredibly right-wing, fascistic. Well, let's get there. I'm curious now. I've set it up. I'm curious. Let's watch. Let's see what News Nation has to say. This is going to be kind of funny how they frame this. I clicked on it. I did. I promise. Yep.
There you go. So maybe, as Caitlin says, we get another week out of this. What about the defense? We didn't even know if there would be a defense in this case, but now there's a couple of witnesses.
Don't blame me.
This is Costello number
Not
2.
my
Let's
fault.
start there. And then we have some work to do to go back over Michael Cohen's testimony.
Okay, this is getting embarrassing. Okay, come on. Hold on. I know how to fix this. Sorry, everybody. I have too many. I'm trying to do consistent streams to actually
maybe,
close these
as
tabs.
Caitlin says, we get another week out of this. What about the defense? We didn't even know if there would be a defense in this case, but now there's a couple of witnesses. Costello number 2. Let's start there, and then we have some work to do to go back over Michael Cohen's testimony from earlier in the day.
I already don't care.
How do you like, Todd Blanche and company's position here in defending Donald Trump?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing, Connell, is essentially the defense trying to muddy the waters and trying to end this case by showing that after attacking Cohen repeatedly on his credibility, bringing then another witness to say that essentially everything Cohen said was wrong, that Trump knew nothing at all about what was happening with the payments and with the hush money payments and the efforts to conceal that in the business records. And so now it's, who are you going to believe? And so once you muddy the waters, remember, that's all the defense has to do, which is show reasonable doubt. They don't have to prove anything.
I mean, the whole case doesn't hedge on testimony or evidence from Michael Cohen, though, does it? There's other evidence from other people.
They have to just cast doubt in the jurors' minds, and that's what they're trying to do.
Are those waters muddied, in your mind at least?
They are. They are. I think the state has a problem. I think that the defense they poked enough holes and certainly attacked Cohen's credibility. Obviously, he's already been convicted.
Because if we were watching MSNBC, they'd be like, "Oh, he's cooked. He's cooked. It's over. It's over. The testimony is slam dunk, slam dunk." So I don't know who to believe anymore.
Did a perjury previously, so that's a problem.
What was the biggest problem on that? I have a few examples I can pull up, but I want to hear yours first. What was the biggest problem that was exposed in the prosecution's case, do you think?
I mean, so much. The fact that there, I think, were holes in terms of who created like the business records, who knew about it, saying who Trump was in direct communication with, the fact that Cohen was shown or admitted to stealing money from the Trump organization, the fact that Cohen was proven to basically have a chip on his shoulder, and which gives motive for him, incentive for why he would be lying to this jury in this case. So there's so many problems, I think, with the state's case.
He stole from Trump, too, for what I mean, that came out earlier today. We had some revelations last week. If you go to our tablet here, we have the example in the testimony when Blanche was questioning Cohen about him stealing from the Trump organization. But Weisselberg grossed up to $100,000. So you stole from the Trump organization, right? Cohen says, I did. Blanche, have you been prosecuted for larceny or even made to pay it back? Cohen, no, sir. So that was today. We had some revelations last week, and Cohen's credibility has always been called into question. Now we find out he stole a significant amount of money and admitted to it from the guy he was working for.
Right, and the problem is that goes to the motive to show why Cohen would be lying to the jury today. And so Cohen's position of, I lied all these other times, I'm dishonest, I steal, I lie, but today I'm telling you the truth. I don't know if that's going to fly with this jury. There were 2 lawyers on the jury. I mean, I think that it's highly suspicious.
Look, call me an idealist. I just want to live in a country where criminals who commit crimes and are caught and are busted are punished, you know?
And it certainly doesn't bode well for the prosecution.
Now, the other thing about Cohen is last week he was saying that he had this conversation with Keith Schiller, Trump's body man, where he
Okay, I don't care anymore. I just don't care. I just don't care. You want more? Go to fucking Dana Bash. Go to MSNBC. Check in with Chuck Todd. Check in with, fucking Wolf Blitzer. Check out what motherfucking Tapper Jake has to say about it. Okay, I just can't anymore. I just want guilty people to go to jail. I just want people who commit crimes to go to jail, please. Well, I'm a dreamer. Some say, okay, that's all the Trump I got in me. We got to move on. But move on, to more right-wing stuff. I got just a couple more right-wing links, and we're moving on to what is this after our right-wing stuff? Gaza, Israel, Gaza. Serenity now, man. OAN next. Let's check in with Chris Cuomo. Let's check in with what Chris Cuomo has to say. He's totally not a right-winger. He's totally not an embarrassing right-winger now, Chris Cuomo. So Louisiana becomes first state to require the Ten Commandments to be posted in classrooms. So, like this whole idea that it can't happen here, it's happening here. The total disregard for our Constitution, for the separation of church and state, for the entire reason, and one of the big reasons why we left the British Empire, so we could worship who we wanted to worship and not have to worry about the government getting in the way of that. Well, that's being unwound right before our eyes already. Do we think for 1 second that the ghouls that are doing this are going to stop when they get more power? They're just going to stop with Louisiana when they gain more power. Yeah, Ace. Oh, they're not beyond passing, you know. Oh, well, not for Satanism and stuff. I'm pretty sure that's already being debated and whatnot, you know, because of the Church of Satan challenging these laws in a very creative and clever way. ACLU is chomping in the bit at the Ten Commandments thing. Yeah. And that's great. And I agree with the ACLU on that thing. Absolutely. Definitely some things I don't agree with the ACLU on sometimes, but this one I definitely agree with them on. But it doesn't matter if they get to a certain level of power, you know, because it like with fascism, the changes happen slow and piecemeal until they reach a certain tipping point, until they reach a certain amount of power. And then it happens really, really fast. The whole laundry list gets, you know, gets achieved, you know, checking boxes really quick. So this is an example of one of those small things that happens. Oh, well, it's just Louisiana. No, this gives us a look into their worldview. It gives us a look at what conservatives will do to America if we allow them to have power. I'm surprised they still make the same mistakes. We've done this dance hundreds of times before. Yeah, well, I mean, when you talk about humanity, maybe. That's never been quite the same with the United States. We're definitely kind of treading a new territory here. This is kind of like when Superman becomes brainwashed in the comics and you're like, oh my God, what do we do? You know, the world's most powerful military now controlled by a fascist. What the fuck do we do now? No problem, Lenny. Thank you for once again giving me that view, and thank you to all you lurkers and you listeners. You're doing other things. You keeping that tab open, keeping the volume up on that tab. I do appreciate all you folks out there giving me that view. It is the most valuable thing you can give me. So thank you for your support of the News Underground. All you lurkers, all you viewers, all you chatters, you're what makes the News Underground great. So just another example of what I was talking about earlier, like this, you know, this shows us, you know, what this is what our future looks like under conservative governorship. They're not reversing. They're not gonna, you know, realize, oh, hey, people don't like this. Let's reverse. Let's change our angle. There's really no coming back from this. They are an extremist party, you know, and it's either burnout or get the whole kit and caboodle. You know, full authoritarian dictatorship. There's really no going back from this. They're past the point of no return. Here's an example right here. Greg Abbott pardoning killer of Black Lives Matter protesters sends a chilling message. This is an opinion from MSNBC here, Daniel Perry. But I totally agree with this opinion. This sets a horrific precedent. Yeah, you heard right. This man killed a Black Lives Matter protester and has been pardoned. His murder has been pardoned by a right-wing extremist, right-wing extremist who's in charge, Greg Abbott, who agrees with this other right-wing extremist taking the law into his own hands and murdering somebody that he disagreed with politically, aka the definition of terrorism. Greg Abbott fully supports terrorism. Greg Abbott, what does this say to other right-wing extremists in Texas? You know, as long as the person I'm killing is political, I could get a pardon. Abbott is perfectly exemplifying the government approves of violence in support of the government's cause, like how the thugs attacked the protesters live on camera in LA and the police did and are doing nothing about it. Well, yeah, they're taking their time, aren't they? You're talking about the pro-Palestinian protests. They sure are taking their time. Folks, this is bad news once again, this is an example of what we're going to see. And we've already seen Trump sanction violence from the president's seat, from the highest seat in the land. Go do violence for me. Not direct, using dog whistles, using stochastic terrorism. You know, it's never a direct, you know, this is a command from the commandant. Like I said, it happens slowly and then it happens fast. Once we get the command from the commandant, that's the fast part. We're in the slow part right now of the fascist takeover of democracy. But yeah, once all that shit's out of the way, once they have to stop pretending that they give a shit about democracy or checks and balances or liberty, then yeah, it's like, yeah, just you're deputized. Go do it. Look, see how they do it in Iran with the morality police. Just an edict, you know, some fucker sitting in a fucking fancy seat somewhere makes a little speech. It's like Tropico. That's exactly what they want. On Thursday, a convicted murderer serving a 25-year sentence was set free in Texas. He wasn't set free because of DNA analysis determined he was innocent, nor was there some legal technicality successfully raised in his appeal. Daniel Perry, who was an active duty Army sergeant at the time of his crime, never disputed that he shot and killed 28-year-old Air Force veteran Garrett Foster in front of multiple witnesses during a 2020 Black Lives Matter protest in Austin. Stone cold murdered a dude because he was a lefty, because he was a liberal. And Greg Abbott says, yeah, that's understandable. That's understandable, right? Because the framing is the left is trying to destroy America. Left is trying, the left is going to get us. Look how they're using the Justice Department against Daddy Trump. They're going to do that again. They're going to force our kids to be gay, and they're going to force all their their anti-religious bigotry against us. They're going to destroy our way of life. They're attacking us. So this feeds into that narrative that they desperately need to stay relevant. Perry was pardoned by Texas Governor Greg Abbott, as Abbott promised to do the day after the jury issued its verdict. Wow. So they turned him into a pariah. They turned him into a martyr, like Kyle Rittenhouse, right? I'm sure with a bunch of misinformation, he didn't really do it, or it was justified, and it was self-defense. Same thing. So they turned him into a little hero. This fucking loser. Look at him. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. Plenty of people who look like this guy are honorable people. But this guy wasn't, and he looks like a fucking loser. Abbott promised to free Perry, even though a Texas grand jury indicted Perry. And you think this is a conservative out in Texas? You think that's conservative? There must have been hard evidence. We're not going to get into it. The Kyle Rittenhouse trial was one of the most blatant miscarriages of justice I've ever seen in my life. Said it before, I'll say it again. I've never seen a trial end with a judge asking the person for a selfie. Despicable. Abbott, yeah, Davey, you also agree that protesting should be illegal. So kindly sit the fuck down. Abbott promised to free Perry, even though Texas grand jury indicted Perry, and a jury of Perry's peers in Texas convicted him. Abbott promised a pardon before the pardon board, whose members he appoints, issued its finding. Wow. The governor was under pressure to issue the pardon from a number of high-profile conservatives, including Tucker Carlson, well-known nihilist. According to Houston Chronicle, Thursday was the first time in the last decades that a Texas governor has pardoned someone for a serious violent crime, let alone murder. Adding to the highly charged political nature of this pardon, Abbott was scheduled to address the 2024 National Rifle Association Conference this weekend, along with former President and current candidate Donald Trump. Yeah, isn't that great, Lenny? Pleads guilty to murder. I killed him. I shot him dead. I shot him just to watch him bleed. Greg Abbott. Yeah, you should go ahead and walk free. It's just, it's if you think this is an isolated incident, think again. Because it's the bootlickers like Greg Abbott, the ultra MAGA, we love Trump no matter what, kill, do whatever you want kind of guys, should have those people, even though they're mediocre, even though they're authoritarian, and in a lot of cases, even though they're actually unpopular, they will be put into higher levels of government, like what we see in Russia. Right? Those people that are sitting closest to Putin are not there because they're the best at their jobs. Right? They're there because Putin thinks they're safe. He thinks that they're sufficiently partisan. They bootlick. They go along to get along. They're going to listen to him and his edicts. That's how this works. So characters like Greg Abbott, totally atrocious, pardoning criminals, But because of his fealty to a dictator, if Trump was put into charge, he will be in the higher positions of federal government. And you don't think he's going to take these attitudes to the highest levels of government if put in charge? Thought I'd show you what American fascism actually looks like. Not what you think. Mugshots of 3 fake electors from this morning's arraignments in Maricopa County, Arizona. Just think these are interesting faces and photos. This is what American fascism looks like. It's not, you know, they got Karen haircuts and they're, you know, 60, 70 years old. But these people thought, well, because I love Trump and my friends love Trump and everybody I know supports Trump, even though I only know like 15 or 20 people. Well, obviously, was it Arizona? Yeah, obviously, well, Arizona voted for Trump. There must be some mistake somewhere. Someone's screwing with it. So I'm going to take it upon myself to lie, to forge an official document and send that in as legitimate and say, nope, this was the result of the Arizona election. But this is what it looks like. Just everyone else, man. You can't tell. You can't tell. The difference between them and the newer generations is that they show up and vote. They show up, man. And when daddy, when you know, that really famous protest sign, your bitch needs more money, right? With Donald Trump. When their bitch needs more money, they cough it up. They cough it up. The left doesn't do that. You know, the left doesn't back up imperfect characters. If you're not Bernie Sanders level, then And in some cases, it's totally justified. In other cases, it's wildly hyperbolic and counterproductive. Kyle Rittenhouse is absolutely, so Davey, okay, one last thing I'm going to say about Kyle Rittenhouse. The question I have for Davey, had the left-winger, the person with the pistol, had been as cold-blooded as Kyle Rittenhouse was, and he murdered Kyle Rittenhouse right then and there, instead of converging on Kyle Rittenhouse, right? Because he had the pistol, and instead of firing where he stood, he tried to get closer to him and then ended up getting shot by Kyle in the arm. Had that lefty liberal who thought he was shooting a mass killer been as cold-blooded as that 17-year-old child was, Kyle Rittenhouse, if that lefty with the pistol was as cold-blooded as Kyle Rittenhouse, would he have received the same treatment? With that, he takes out Kyle, he shoots him square in the head, right where he stands. Okay, Davey, I see that. If Gage had killed Kyle, yeah, that was his name. I don't think he should be guilty of murder. So thank you for acknowledging that that's what you think. Do you think that's what would have happened in a court of law? Because you basically do, right? You have to pretend like justice is blind, like there wasn't any bias. But are you really going to sit there and lie to everybody and say that Gage would have been treated in the same way as a fucking full-blown martyr and hero, and then treated as such by the judge? Do you think Gage would have gotten that same treatment in the court of law for murdering a 17-year-old child? I don't think he would have been guilty either. Okay, that's great. Thank you for acknowledging that. Do you think the court of law would have let him off for murdering Kyle? For killing Kyle? I guess it wouldn't be a murder, right? I guess it depends on where they go. Because I'm convinced that in a court of law, the lefty who murdered a 17-year-old boy who he thought was a mass shooter would have been dragged through the fucking courts, book thrown at him, and he'd probably have life in jail right now. Or some kind of maybe reduced sentence, maybe. Does anyone think the guy with the pistol, Mr. Gage, would be treated the same way that Kyle was? Getting his gun back, selfie with the judge pretending the pinch and zoom feature on the iPad is somehow making people carry guns. A feature that he used in thousands of other murder trials, by the way. Oh no, Gage would have been treated the exact same way and found totally innocent. Anyway, that's what I have to say about Kyle. And to the people that are like, oh, that was an honest trial. That was an honest trial. That was a travesty of justice. The prosecution sucked. I agree. The prosecution totally dropped the ball on Kyle, going after Kyle. Completely sucked. I don't know where they got these Bush League amateurs. But I remember being pretty consistently disappointed. I think there was one day where I was like, okay, they nailed him. But then the rest of the coverage, it was like, these guys kind of suck. The judge was fucking biased in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. He took a selfie with Kyle, dude. Anyway, moving on. I don't know if this is real or not, but people are saying that this guy in the background of this of the Rudy Giuliani clip. Yeah, woke patriot. Yeah, good point. I don't know about that, Ace. I mean, like, woke patriot brings up a good point. That they were... You can't use this evidence. You can't use that. You can't talk about this. You can't talk about that. You're not allowed to say these things. You got to use these words when describing it. All these, oh, that's normal. That's normal. That's normal. Oh, okay. I'm not a lawyer. But anyway, apparently this guy right here, I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently this is the guy that served Rudy Giuliani moments after his, his happy birthday was sung to him. I don't know if this is true, but it's hilarious if that's the case. I want it to be true. Proper prosecution appealed on those reasons. I mean, Ace, it's just, I covered that, almost every day. We went into the details. And, I don't know, man. I've never seen a judge behave that way before in my life. It's not like I watch every trial. I watch court TV every day, but I've never seen a judge act that way. Anyway, back to this. I don't know. It could be fake. He could be like a military guy. I don't know. I don't know if this is real or not. I just want it to be real. Yeah, Ace. I want this to be the guy that served. He was singing happy birthday, and then he serves them the papers. It's probably not true, but I want it to be true. All right. I had to show you this. I saw this. This guy's been popping up, this fucking idiot. He's, I don't know. He's a Sigma males, another one of these, loudmouth douchebags who thinks women should be slaves and all that other shit. And this guy made this really funny TikTok. Okay, come on, give me my control over the video back, please. And just refresh this here. But this guy made this TikTok that was pretty fucking funny, so I thought I'd show it to you. Come on, I hit pause. There we go. Yeah, so I don't know. This guy has a name. I don't know. Like I said, I've seen him pop up. He's in the Andrew Tate crowd being shared by these so-called Sigma males who think, like I said, women should be slaves, etc., etc.
Hi, this is the man who does not like gay pride. This man. This is the man who does not like gay pride. Just in case my audio wasn't working, this is the man who does not like gay pride. Another view of the man who does not like gay pride. Ooh, I'm blocking his handbag.
Este es el hombre al que no le gusta el orgullo gay. Das ist der Mann, der gay pride nicht mag.
He does not like gay pride, this man. I guess it's just not for him.
Pretty funny. And look, yeah, maybe he's metrosexual, straightest man alive, sure, whatever. But I don't know. You got a problem with gay pride? Well, how does that affect you, buddy? What? Do you feel self-conscious? Feel like you should be out there? What? What's your problem? What's your problem there, Mr. Snazzy? He knows better. Yeah, 100% woke patriot. Just like O.J. Simpson. But in that case, I don't think the judge was nearly as biased. I think the defense was able to muddy the waters really well. Johnny Cochran, But no, it was a miscarriage of justice. Awful voice of fashion. Is that who this guy is? Dude, loving someone the same sex as you. Well, I mean, people wouldn't be making fun of him for looking gay if he wasn't, making loud, stupid social media statements about how he doesn't like gay pride parades and, all that stupid manosphere, bullshit. And how many times have guys like this? We just saw it with Nick Fuentes. Literally just saw it just a couple days ago with Nick Fuentes. Oh, I'm the straightest man alive. I'm so straight. Having sex with women and anal sex with women is gay. I'm that straight. I refuse to even have anal sex with a woman. Right? Streams end. Oh, okay. I'm gonna watch hardcore gay porn now and jerk my little gherkin. How many times have we seen that? Right? These hypocrites who are like, oh, I don't like all that gay stuff. Who are like, craving the D, dude. Craving the D. Well, you can't read his mind in the moment. Davey over here still trying to defend Kyle Rittenhouse, man. Look, I get it. It's technically legal, but the fact is that you're defending that trial as unbiased and perfectly normal. And look, I'm not a fucking lawyer. I'm not a trial lawyer. Okay, but I'm not convinced that the Kyle Rittenhouse trial was an unbiased, exercise in normal legal procedure. Maybe not first-degree murder, Davey. Maybe not first-degree murder, but he's absolutely guilty of murder. Moving on to the next one here. This is just stupid shit I saw that was pretty funny. This is the black legislator calling out Marjorie Taylor Greene, who made fun of this woman's eyelashes. So she clapped back, and of course that clap back is now all over the internet in forms like this. I hated it. I hated that. That sucked. Yeah, that sucked. No, that was really great. Really funny. I don't, it's like this whole partisan back and forth, clipping shit and making funny videos and memes. I think it's funny and interesting and stuff, but I usually try not to focus on it too much, but that was too funny not to show. Too funny not to show that one. Yeah, funny stuff. All right, we finally made it to Gaza. Yay! What? Oh, we don't want to talk about Gaza? Come on. Wouldn't it be more fun to talk about Leonard Cohen? I mean, Michael Cohen? What? What? All right, so let's just get into it. Let's just blast through this crap. So we can get to the meteor stuff, because I do have some really, really cool meteor footage that I wanted to show people.
Good evening. I'm Laura Barone-Lopez. John Yang is away. Tonight, there is turmoil within Israel's government. Benny Gantz, a centrist in Benjamin Netanyahu's war cabinet, is...
Centrist? Benny Gantz? Wow. We just throw that word around, huh? That's cool. Yeah, I saw a squirrel outside. Such a centrist. Benny Gantz, centrist, huh? Okay, cool. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, no, let's just come. Yeah, all right, whatever. All right, PBS.
Within Israel's government, Benny Gantz, a centrist in Benjamin Netanyahu's war cabinet, is threatening to quit if the government does not adopt a new plan for the war in Gaza by June 8th. It comes as a...
Where did they get this photo? Yes! Wow. Whoever put this package together, give me a raise, dude. That's a raise. Look at this picture. He nailed it. Picture's worth 1,000 words, and look, this says it all. I don't want to be your friend anymore, dude. I don't want to take over all the Gaza Strip. Come on, man. I don't want a humanitarian disaster on our hands.
The government does not adopt a new plan for the war in Gaza by June 8th. It comes as a ceasefire deal remains elusive,
He's just mad
and no new
he
hostages have been released since November. And earlier today, Israeli airstrikes fell in northern Gaza, toppling buildings in Jabalia, the largest of Gaza's refugee camps, killing 15 and wounding dozens more. Meanwhile, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is in Saudi Arabia tonight to discuss the war with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He travels to Israel.
Every picture I see of this guy, you know, if you know what's up with the Saudi royals, you know what I mean? If you know what's up with these guys, every picture I see of this dude with his grin, you know, princes and kings, shit needs to be thrown away. Ugh. Does he even know how to type a Word document? You know what I mean? Could this guy start a fire at a campground?
Israel tomorrow. Back here at home, deadly storms that killed 7 people this week in the Houston area have moved on, but a new
yeah, so this is climate-related news. Oh, real quick, extreme heat. Then over what, to Ukraine? Court appearance? Yeah, okay. Climate stuff. We've already moved on for that. No more kings, indeed. Would have acted the same way. Oh, wow, we're still defending Kyle Rittenhouse. You know, it's fascinating to me, the knee-jerk defense of what was clearly a biased procedure. It was clearly biased. But we need to defend this to the hilt. Why? You even got a guy that wants to ban all guns defending it to the hilt. There is such a thing as miscarriage of justices. Okay, it's not, Kyle Rittenhouse is not the only case where there was bias and a murderer was gotten off and, you know, and is seen as innocent for one reason or another. It's not totally impossible. I don't understand this knee-jerk reaction to defend what is clearly a miscarriage of justice. No, I'm not misunderstanding you. I'm not really paying attention to you. So we're seeing a lot of Jewish people weaponize their victimhood, you know, weaponize their identity to justify Israel's ethnic cleansing campaign, attempted genocide. And what they are doing is the classic Zionist move of, you know, it's not safe to be a Jew anywhere. Like everywhere I go, people think that I'm a Jew, and because I identify, I'll wear a Star of David really proudly, you know. Or in some cases, I'll stand in a protest, and people are I'll walk against a protest, right? I'll stand in a protest location and say, "Help! Help me! Help! I'm in trouble." I'm referencing videos that I've shown of Zionists weaponizing their victimhood. So I found this to be a very interesting video here, because we see this woman doing just that, doing this usual narrative of, I can't be a Jew anywhere. It's just not safe for me. They're trying to kill me. Everyone's trying to kill me. Everyone who's pro-Palestine is trying to kill me. It's interesting to see this responded to by a Jewish person in New York. Let's have a look.
As a Jew in the world, how am I supposed to walk the streets?
Hey everybody, New York Jew here, and today I'm going to teach you how to walk the streets of New York, okay? Because, you know, some of you might not be feeling safe. So what you got to do, in case you forgot, you take your right leg and you walk forward like that, then you take your left leg and move like that. And then we're walking. Here, walk with me, walk with me. Whoa. Let's go try this out. All right, today we're in Little Palestine. As you can see, I'm walking around just fine.
Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. He's super Jewish in Little Palestine in New York. Okay, let's see what happens here. My heart's in my throat right now.
All right, I'm around tons of Palestinian people, and clearly as a Jew, so it's all love here. It's all peace. Oh, there it is. There it is. What up, baby? What's going on? Assalamu alaikum, man. You doing a video right now? Yeah, doing a video.
I thought he was going to get jihaded.
There's always one for Jews and Palestinians.
I thought he was going to get jihaded, guys.
You want to get some shawarma? Hell yeah, let's do it.
Oh, he's going to get some shawarma. Oh, you see, only a self-hating Jew would get shawarma. I don't know. Oh, look at this. Look at those little terrorists right there. Look at that. Look at those little justified, collateral damages. Pro-Hamas all the way, I'm sure. Yeah, well, I can assume just by looking at this that all of these individuals love Hamas and love October 7th. That's very obvious to me. I don't know if that's obvious to you.
With the anti-Semitic remarks.
They love October 7th. Pretty good evidence right there. Once again, anti-Semitism run amok. Yeah, great video. Great video. And, so here's the thing, though. Anti-Semitism, 100% real. Take one look at, extremely out and proud gay man, Nick Fuentes, just as a single example. Anti-Semitism is very real. And violence, we see violence against Jewish people, not just Zionists, but Jewish people in general, for various reasons, for various hatreds. Ironically, from an extremist faction that supposedly supports Israel, it's complicated. But the reason why the weaponization of anti-Semitism is so bad for society is that it's actually giving cover to the real anti-Semites that are actually trying to perpetuate violence against Jewish people. By this woman saying, like, I can't be a Jew anywhere. I can't be a Jew anywhere. She's actually diminishing the actual victims of real anti-Semitism, right? Because it's like, well, how can I take this woman seriously? When I see a video like this, I might be convinced that maybe anti-Semitism isn't a big deal. And I'm like, no, it is a big deal, but we got to, Israel is confusing us about what's happening. And ironically, the anti-Semites who support Zionism are making it even more confusing. But great video here. And once again, it's very clear to me. I can see into their hearts. I can see into their minds. They love Hamas, and they want to see October 7th happen every single day. So it's pretty clear to me. I don't know about you. So speaking of tragedies, Jerry Seinfeld decided to do more comedy. Ooh. I thought he was canceled. I thought he wasn't allowed to speak anymore because the liberals on Twitter said they don't like him. So I'm surprised he was able to break free from the Twitter gulag and actually broke through all the barriers to once again exercise his free speech. Yeah, I'm over Seinfeld. Yeah, me too. Another the same in Hebron and pre-invasion Gaza. These Palestinians are not real skin in the game, which is like Jews in the U.S. Well, you're a real treat. You're a real treat. You're a real chipper fella there. I really love having you in my chat. So anyway, here's a hack canceled comedian who is not allowed to speak because of the liberal elite that refuses to let him speak. You're running for president in Russia 2030? Okay. All right. Cool. All right. R.I.P. to Matt Shadows 2031. R.I.P. to Matt Shadows, who died tragically in a plane accident in 2031. But no, here's hack comedian Jerry Seinfeld getting his just desserts for supporting an ethnic cleansing and attempted genocide in Palestine. He, of course, his wife, him and his wife not only fully support, Israel's ethnic cleansing, they actually funded they funded the counter protesters that cracked heads at UCLA. I believe they were directly responsible for maybe not directly responsible. I'm getting things mixed up. But they funded, and it's like, someone, Davin, made the point several streams ago. I support Americans to support, so it's not exactly the act of Miss Seinfeld giving money to these counter protesters that I have a problem with, because that is a good point. I do support rich people or people with money to support various protest movements. That's their American right. But it's my right to judge people who support ethnic cleansing, who want to spend their money counter protesting ethnic cleansing. So that's where I stand. Let's go ahead and watch this.
Save the children of Gaza! No more American tax dollars for genocide! Save the children of Gaza! Shut up! Oh my God, shut up! You're a genocide supporter!
Get out.
You're a genocide supporter! You should be ashamed of yourself!
Oh my God.
We should all be
Oh my God.
How dare you! How dare you! How dare you support a genocide! How dare you support a genocide!
Oh wait, that was the protesters. I support them.
How dare you support a genocide!
Get out! Get out!
Hey,
We're the good guys.
let go of him! Let go of him!
Seinfeld saying, "This is exciting. I like this." No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. If you know anything about Jerry Seinfeld and his style of comedy, this is the exact opposite kind of reaction he actually wants.
Go over there. Yeah, you're ruining for everybody else. Go. Go.
Matt Shadows, thank you so much for your comment. I totally agree.
Genocide supporter.
Oh man, look at these peaceful.
Break his neck.
Look at these peaceful guys. They believe in free speech.
Oh my God.
Except for Palestinians.
What are you doing?
So even if you disagree with someone politically, you're actually not allowed to physically accost them, and even if everyone in the room agrees with you that this one person that they don't like is making noise and disruptive, it's actually still illegal to accost and assault that person. Did you know that? I can tell you one thing. Pro-Israeli Zionists who weaponize situations like this certainly know that, as we saw in the UK with that guy who, made a complete nuisance of himself and then was able to get on headline news and be interviewed by all the right-wing news stations because a cop was saying, he said, you're being, I don't know, too Jewish or something, right? Slip of the tongue. Able to take that little thing out of context, weaponize it. Right. Oh, it's the police hate the Jews. Police hate the Jews. And then, of course, we find out the truth a couple days later. That's not the case at all. He was walking literally against the protest, and the police were like, "You're being a nuisance. You're being a nuisance. Why? For being Jewish? Why?" But just a reminder here: even if you disagree with someone politically, it's actually still illegal to physically accost them. I know it's weird. I know Greg Abbott says no. Go for it. Have fun. Stand back and stand tall, or whatever Trump says. Yeah. So Jerry's pretending like he likes this.
Save the children of Gaza!
So this is great. This is a common protest technique that I absolutely love, right? Where, you have several people stand back and stand by. Thank you. You have several people in the crowd. And then periodically throughout the whole show, you stand up, right? So he gets back. It's like, okay, protesters are gone. I get back into my vibe, and just when he thinks it's all good again, boom, he gets hit with another one. And I can tell you something: Jerry Seinfeld does not. Oh, this is exciting. I like this. No, you don't have the balls for this. You're not fucking cut for this, Jerry. You're too fucking soft for this. You need to back down from this and start supporting human rights before you get in way the fuck over your head, buddy. Because you know what the future for Jerry Seinfeld is? Getting interviewed by Chris Cuomo. Getting interviewed by Sean Hannity. Getting interviewed by Tucker Carlson on Twitter. Because they're the only channels that want to have a conversation with you anymore, Jerry. You're not going to be able to handle that shit when you're not deified as the world's greatest comedian anymore because you're a right-wing fucking hack. So you don't have the fucking chops for this, Jerry, and you should back down while you can, Jerry. This stain doesn't go away. You don't tide this one out, buddy.
Save the children of Gaza!
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, the children. 15,000 dead kids, huh? Oh, I'm trying to have fun. All right, I'm going to keep going. What about these protesters? So he says, save the children of Gaza. Interesting. So like I said, he doesn't have the chops. He's already sensing, I got to back down from this. This has already gotten out of hand. Very interesting that he says that. He says it almost sarcastically. But that is interesting. He's once again, like Jerry Seinfeld is the definition of mainstream comedy. You know what I mean? Like that's his whole bread and butter. I'm not trying to take a stance here. We're just trying to laugh and have fun, and that's what the comedian's supposed to do. He doesn't necessarily disagree with comedian because I've seen lots of interviews with him. You know, among the panel of comedians, they're all talking about their craft. So I've seen those interviews. He doesn't necessarily disagree with the Bill Hicks and successful political comedians, but he's saying, you know, his style is very anti-politics. So he doesn't know what to do. In fact, he calls I believe somewhere in here, he calls the protesters anti-Semitic. Yeah, I like it when the Jew haters spice up the show. Shit doesn't work anymore, Jerry. You're 20 years too late on that one, Jerry. You're 20 years too late. I would say maybe 10 years, right? But there was a time where if you stood against Israel, against the Palestinians, you were, yep. I mean, everyone knows if you're Jewish, you support Israel. There was a lot of ignorance about that. The whole concept of Zionism being separate from Judaism, you know, these things were kind of nebulous to a lot of people. And it was like, yeah, if you're pushing back against Israel, you must be anti-Semitic in some way. And that was successful for a really long time, but not anymore, Jerry. So I find it very interesting. So, you know, he's trying. I was like, okay, this is the second interruption, right? Second interruption. He's like, okay, I can still recover this. Okay, I'll get back to my rhythm. And then it happens a third time. And even the crowd is exhausted with it. And then by the end, okay, yeah, whatever, save the children of Gaza, whatever. That's him already realizing he's in way over his head. Go back to your mansion and shut the fuck up. Welcome to being canceled, bitch. This is what being canceled actually looks like. And I'm here for it, man. I totally support this. People who support ethnic cleansing, people who support genocide or attempted genocide need to be called out. This stuff needs to be shamed. Tyson Fury, fraud, boxer. What are you talking about? Tyson Fury? I don't fucking care. Oh, wait. Can't believe Fury fooled the boxing world right near finding a Ukrainian champion. I see. Yeah. Okay. I did read something about a guy named Tyson Fury and something about boxing. I did read that. Thank you, Mozambique, from over there from Kick for that update. Very interesting stuff. Finally, a Ukrainian champion once again. Hell yeah. That's great. That's awesome. Great. I'm unsafe to wear a kefka, but I have to admit, I feel as if I feel I'm a potential threat due to my wardrobe choice. You're certainly going to get a double. You're definitely going to get a double take from a police officer, right? Who's like, uh-oh, what's this guy up to? That's the terrorists wear that. Cops are very like that. So, thousands protest in Israel as cracks show in war cabinet. So, just more details and information about this split that we're seeing. Some people speculate that this fella here is going to be potentially challenging Bibi Netanyahu for leadership, and that's why we're seeing this split here. That he feels like this might be his opportunity to do that before it's too late. You know, because there is a point of no return here with Gaza and these 2 million people in the Gaza Strip and relations with Egypt and. I doubt even in full-blown catastrophe where the Gaza Strip is completely sucked up by Israel and settlers are moving in and Israel's making the excuses for the settlers like they always do with the West Bank. I have my doubts that the United States will drop their support of Israel even at that point. You know, if it's I truly believe it'll be the United States and Israel versus the world if Israel wants to drag the United States into it. I don't see any. I mean. The reason why I say that is because of the recent weapons pause, right? Joe Biden saying, "Oh, we're pausing weapons." You're doing no such fucking thing. Ton of weapons going into Israel. One shipment temporarily paused for a couple weeks. That's the best you're going to get from America. My friend's little brother is Usyk's big fan. He's going to go into professional boxing someday. Imagine your icon becoming an extra champ. Hey, that's great news. Hey. Ukraine needs all the morale wins, and I'm not surprised one bit that some of the toughest motherfuckers on planet Earth are also kicking ass in the boxing ring. So I absolutely love to hear it. Thank you, Mozan Beat, for that update from Kick. Thank you so much. So once again, thousands protest in Israel as cracks show in war cabinet.
The show in Israel's war cabinet.
Yeah, I just said that. This lady. W over here, redundant.
The future of the Gaza Strip. Former Defense Minister Benny Gantz is threatening to resign from the cabinet unless the government comes up with a concrete plan for a post-war Gaza. He had joined as a show of unity after Hamas launched the October 7th terrorist attack. Now Gantz has set a 3-week deadline, ramping up the pressure on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah, Lenny, I see your comments about Seinfeld. Just say, I agree.
Meanwhile, fighting between Israel and Hamas is intensifying.
I think the show
Northern
is funny,
Gaza is seeing some of the fiercest battles of the war so far, months after Israel declared the end of operations in the area. While in the south, hundreds of thousands flee fighting in Rafah, many of them not for the first time.
Heavy clashes rock the southern Gazan city of Rafah as Israel pushes ahead with its assault against Hamas.
I know you're speaking
The United Nations says 800,000 people, more than a third of Gaza's population, have been displaced from the area, despite having nowhere to go. The northern part of the Strip is also under fire. In Jabalia, Israeli tanks roll.
I mean, hell, they're not even allowed to represent themselves at the Olympics, not because of their war crimes, but because of their rampant cheating. ZZ, do you think Israel should give back the Gaza Strip to the Palestinians?
Through the devastated streets. The army says it's conducting, quote, precise operations against terrorists and infrastructure. Inside Israel, thousands joined the weekly anti-government protests in Tel Aviv. They want the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, to resign and new elections to be called.
Waiting on that answer, ZZ. Should Israel give back the Gaza Strip to the Palestinians? I would like an answer to that question. I think you don't think the Palestinians should return to their country so that they could be Palestinians in their own country? Do you disagree with that, ZZ?
This government is taking our country to places that I don't want to see my country go to. I see corruption, I see lack of hope, I see lack of vision, I see mediocrity and even below.
So there you go. So ZZ believes Palestine's not a country. The Palestinians aren't really, they don't really belong there, obviously. So thank you so much. It's actually, ZZ, I don't know if you know this, it's actually against TOS to advocate for a genocide, to advocate for ethnic cleansing. You're actually not allowed to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you the ban. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Yeah, Palestine, free Palestine. Palestine is a country. They do deserve to exist. Israel is not justified in ethnically cleansing the region. Shut alert. Hi. It's against. I have no choice but to ban you. It's actually against the TOS to advocate for ethnic cleansing and genocide. I don't know. Jeff Bezos. He's a real hard ass.
Below that, and we won't change.
Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, new cracks are emerging in Netanyahu's coalition. Centrist Benny Gantz, seen by some as a moderating voice in an otherwise ultra-conservative government, gave the rest of the cabinet.
I mean, look, I've heard of this guy, dude. Moderate. Okay, that's centrist, and that just shows you how just insane the politics of Israel is. Look this dude up, this Benny Gantz dude. Moderate, centrist. Okay, dog. Okay, sure. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
An ultimatum.
That needle.
While Israeli soldiers are displaying incredible bravery on the front, some of the people who sent them to battle are acting with cowardice. The War Cabinet must write down and ratify an action plan that will lead to the realization of 6 strategic objectives of national importance by the 8th of June. If Benjamin Netanyahu chooses to follow the zealots and lead the nation into an abyss, I will resign from the government.
So, interestingly, though, that's not going to trigger an election, and people are actually worried. I think this is the news. I'm kind of copying a news magazine that I already watched, but people are actually worried that he's one of the few moderate voices in this cabinet, And if he were to step down, it would just, leave a gap open that would easily be filled by an extremist who wants to go even harder. So that is a worry that, he's going to step down maybe for his conscience. It's not going to trigger an election, and it might leave that position open for someone who's even more extreme. Yeah, Ponder Monkey, exactly. Yeah. Well, we don't have to kill all of them. No, I mean, like, he believes in the apartheid state, right? He's one of those guys that believes Israel can keep Palestinians locked up in an open air jail and slowly take little pieces of the West Bank until, maybe there's just a little, ghetto left, right? But he believes in the strategy of perpetual containment, because it appeases the West. But then they don't actually have to solve or definitively, make a decision on the existence of Palestine and the borders of Israel and all that. It's kind of like have your cake and eat it too, kind of situation. So that's kind of the strategy that he wants to perpetuate. Let's go back, turn Gaza back into an open air prison, continue to, take slices off the West Bank, keep Uncle Sam happy. And then maybe eventually, in 50 years or so, we'll, dump the rest of the people that, we'll take the rest of the West Bank and dump the rest of those people into the Gaza Strip and then, call it a day there. Right. But they rightfully understand that you can't get rid of the Gaza Strip without a humanitarian disaster. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You're either going in there and killing them all, you're pushing them into Egypt, you're starving them to death. It's like, you can't displace 2 million people and just like, oh, it's your problem, Egypt, and then it's all good. Israel doesn't care if it's a wasteland. That's a very remedied problem, very quickly. I'm sure if that were ever to start, like the reconstruction, as we've seen with the settlements, 6 months later, you got whole apartment complexes up, fully running and working. He wants to take all the Palestinians, put them in a focused area, concentrate some kind of camp. Some kind of camp, concentrated camp, if you will. I mean, maybe. Yeah, yes. That's what I was describing. Like I said, this strategy of containment where you're appeasing the West. You don't have to deal with a 2+ million Palestinian human disaster. You can kind of just keep it contained in its own open air prison. Continue to mistreat them. Continue to treat them as second, third class citizens. Even benefit in from their labor. Like a real apartheid state would. So that's what he wants. And honestly, that's what Joe Biden wants. And he knows that. Joe Biden would be perfectly happy to support Israel and their continued oppression of the Palestinians if it was just done quieter and slower and more managed and, not in this bombastic way. Joe Biden has no problem with the complete erasure of the Palestinians eventually, once he's dead. Come on. His legacy. Ironically, if you look at his legacy, it's full-blown support of Zionism his entire career. So I don't know why people are surprised. I guess they're not. I guess they're actually surprised to see him do anything that even remotely resembles criticism of the Zionist state.
If Gantz does resign, it would not force an election. The coalition still has a majority.
Yeah.
But there are fears a moderate voice would be lost at a time when it's needed the most.
I already said that, DW.
So what effect will this renewed heavy fighting have on the current Israeli government strategy and policy? Middle East analyst Shani Reza.
So we interrupted her and did not allow her to speak last time. I feel obliged to let her have, I want to hear what this woman has to say this time. I got a little bit more time for it, so let's hear what she has to say, because last time we had to cut her off.
Zanis is here to talk about it. Good to see you, Shani. There has been a rather dramatic statement by War Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz. What's he had to say?
Yes, well, he joined the government shortly after October 7th to strengthen the government as an emergency unity government. He is a former general in the Israeli army. He's considered to be a centrist politician. And what he's saying tonight to Netanyahu is basically he's setting an ultimatum. He's saying the country has been hijacked by the most extreme parts of the right coalition. We need to do a complete rehaul of our strategy. He's demanding several things, but the two most important ones are demilitarizing Gaza in the civil way, sort of like making sure that the Israeli military can only operate when needed, but that the daily conduct of what's happening in Gaza, whoever takes care of Gaza and the Gazan population need would not be Israel, but rather a joint alliance that is headed and led by the Americans.
So, there's a reason why, these things are not like this person is doing this, because it's honestly being discussed. It's honestly on the table of, well, why don't we just take this whole thing? Okay, we'll deal with the consequences, but we're right there. We're right on the edge. Why don't we just take this whole? That is on the table and being debated. And I think that's why this guy is making this move. It's like, this is going to be disastrous for us for decades. We can't do this. But I think you know, he's right there. He sees it. He's like sitting right across from Ben-Gvir, right? So he sees the reality. It's on the table. Why don't we just take the whole thing, guys? Let Egypt deal with it. Let Egypt deal with it.
And he also talks about
kick him into Jordan, kick him into all the other locations that surround it, right? All the other Arab countries, right? Let them deal with it.
Israel publicly announcing and making active steps in order to get into this normalization pact with Saudi Arabia, something the Americans have been promoting for the last months, that will bring, you know, American, Saudis alliance together with Israel, and along with that also a lot of many other moderate Sunni countries, in hopes to sort of reshape the balance of power in the Middle East against Iran. So these are some of his ultimatums tonight. And we are seeing basically in this statement that all that we've been hearing quietly whispered by anonymous sources in the last months is actually out in the open, a very open rift, a very open disagreement between the most leading figures in the Israeli government these days.
Okay, so there's a lot packed in there. The gauntlet has been laid down, an ultimatum, as you say. What then has Benjamin Netanyahu had to say in response?
Well, he immediately pushes it back. He says, well, you know, ultimatum should not be set to me, but rather to Hamas, and Gantz's words will bring defeat to Israel. His attitude will not help us win. And Gantz is trying to push back against that. We see a lot of this back and forth.
No, the peer exists because Joe Biden wants to be president. The peer exists because it's like, Bibi, we're doing this. You don't have. I'm sure Bibi didn't want the peer, and you know, because they're attacking aid convoys for a reason. They're going after they're trying to shut down UNRWA and the World Central Kitchen for a reason. They're doing that intentionally. So the peer, I don't think Bibi had any choice. The peer is to prevent a humanitarian disaster from getting completely out of hand, hundreds of thousands of people starving, until Joe Biden is president. Then okay, whatever, we'll figure it out. But I honestly believe that's why the peer is there. CRAM protecting the peer. Interesting. What the hell is a CRAM? Yeah, maybe it could be used for that purpose. You know, if Israel, you know, wants to ship these people out. But honestly, I believe the peer is not there to assist in the ethnic cleansing. I think the peer is there to assist Joe Biden in his presidential campaign because you know, 100,000 dead people from starvation because of American taxpayer money really doesn't look good on the re-election, you know, campaign.
Interestingly enough, you would wonder, well, Netanyahu is the prime minister. He could just, you know, if he wanted, he could fire Benny Gantz right now. Why is he not doing that? Or
so he can't
why
do that.
Is Benny Gantz not actively saying immediately, I'm withdrawing from the government? And so what we're seeing here, this political dance where both sides are trying to put the blame on the other, because there's an understanding that the minute that Benny Gantz and his...
Crail, the aid that's coming in off the pier cannot be blocked by the settlers because the settlers are not allowed... Or are the settlers allowed into Gaza to block this shit? You're telling me there's Israeli settlers in northern Gaza blocking the aid that's coming off that pier? No way, dude.
The party are out of the coalition. Netanyahu still technically has the numbers, but he doesn't have the public legitimacy.
Wow,
and
that's
that might
crazy.
Be the first break in the domino effect of mass protests in Israel that might actually shake up Netanyahu's political stability for the first time in real circumstances possible for him, first time since October.
So it's worth asking the obvious question: where does this leave the war cabinet? Where does this leave the government right now?
It's a very good question. There's no doubt that when it comes to handling the war and making decisions, you think of the families of the hostages. They look at this and they're completely in despair because they don't feel like anybody has their interest in his, top of his agenda. And of course, that's not a good position for Israel to be in. I'm sure it's very.
I mean, look, I guess we're going to have to wait for this all to be over for us to have an honest conversation about it. But I'm not afraid to say it. Israel, since day one, since October, 8th. has not been interested one iota in rescuing hostages. It's a cherry on top. If it happens, that's great. But who are we kidding? I mean, who are we kidding? This has not been a hostage rescue operation. They could have rescued hundreds of hostages just a couple days after October 7th. And Bibi was like, no, this is the war I've wanted. This is it. This is exactly what I wanted. We're not doing any kind of negotiation, man. I'm getting into my full-blown war hero mode. So I mean, that's been my personal observation. That I haven't seen any outside of Rafah, where they've been forced to have smaller, battalion groups strikes go in there, right? Smaller, I don't know, 5-10 man teams or whatever, however they do it. But for a grand majority of the fights in Gaza, it's been completely carpet bomb and destroy any infrastructure, and then send some troops in to comb through the rubble and get shot at by Hamas a couple times before Hamas skitters back into the rubble. I'm sorry, that's not how you save hostages. All right, we got to see the CRAM now. I asked about it. Oh, okay, I have seen this. Yeah. No. Don't do it. Oh, that's right. Okay, I've seen. This is funny. Yeah. So the CRAM, I think that's like a civilian aircraft. I think they're just testing the targeting or whatever. But
oh no!
Yeah, dude, that's civilian aircraft.
No.
Jesus Christ!
No! Oh man!
Ironically, Russia has done this. Okay, yeah, we got to see the CRAM shooting. It is pretty fantastic. I mean, it's incredible power. Okay, so we got one of these on the pier. Oh my God! Oh my Jesus! Okay, sorry, my YouTube is screwing up. I can't go full screen there. There we go. Jesus! Do it, lock it, lock it. You know you want to lock it. Yeah, it's real. Oh my God, dude. And I don't think Boeing is. I don't think you're gonna be able to blame Boeing for that one. Yeah. Okay. So that that'll definitely keep Hamas away. All right, let's just get a couple more minutes of this, and then we'll move on to the final clips of the day.
Satisfying for Hamas to see this. We will see Jack Sullivan, the American National Security Advisor, coming to Israel tomorrow from Riyadh, from Saudi Arabia, still trying to make maybe something out of this mess and try to get Israel to move into some sort of a strategic horizon. It's a task that the Americans have been trying to get Netanyahu to agree on for a couple of months already.
I mean, this is my problem though with this whole thing. You see this whole interview, this whole back and forth. It's almost like they're talking about fantasy, right? Because they're talking about as if like this is like a problem with communication and negotiation. It's a breakdown there. No, man, there are, it's like, I get it. We can't be speculating, right? I guess she's trying to avoid speculation, but honestly, it feels like there's a whole set of motivations and actions that are being almost ignored to have this sensible conversation about, this is how things are. I get it though, but it's just like, how blatant does Bibi Netanyahu and Ben Gvir have to be for this, I don't know, for the narrative to shift of like, well, it's obvious what's happening here. Maybe after this guy leaves and is replaced with another extremist, it's going to be clear that this is the direction they're going in. They're taking the Gaza Strip. I don't know.
Maybe now with this public, outing of Minister Gantz, something will change up in Israeli leadership.
Yeah, maybe.
Really interesting moment. Okay. Our Middle East analyst, Shani Brazanis. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
All right. All right, so that was interesting. I don't mean to criticize her. She seems totally lovely, perfectly informed, and, very eloquent and all that. So I'm please ignore me. Just ignore me. Moving on to the next clip here. So this is really encouraging, and this is the reason why Seinfeld's going to have to get used to interviewing Tucker Carlson. Because, on October 7th, we saw a lot of Jewish comedians and actors. I am ignoring you. Thank you, Kissing Gonzo. But no, we saw a lot of, comedians, Jewish comedians and actors, non-Jewish comedian and actors, basically just say, sign a what was it here? So he previously signed the No Hostages Left Behind letter, which was apparently something that went around in celebrity circles right after October 7th, where they were like, I fully support Israel's actions, and I think, you know, Israel is fully justified in whatever it's doing, you know, by ignorant celebrities that aren't really paying attention, so don't really understand, oh, that's a really stupid thing to do. You don't understand how extreme and right-wing the Israeli government is, and you've basically allowed this incredibly extremist element to, you know, make you look terrible, to make you look like an ethnic cleansing supporter. So what we are seeing since then are people, the actors and comedians who actually do care about human rights, coming out and saying in their own way, okay, this is where I actually stand. Maybe I was confused when I put my name down on this list right after October 7th. I was acting, you know, emotionally in a way, which is understandable, which is totally understandable. It was absolutely horrific. And by the way, I condemn October 7th and Hamas to, you know, to the utmost. Not that it matters, right? It just doesn't matter.
Cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
But Eric Andre here, a comedian that I obviously emulate, a comedian that I obviously enjoy very much. You know, his show, you know, very similar to Space Ghost Coast to Coast, which I am just like a super fan of, right? If you're a news guy like me, if you're a presenter of any kind, Eric Andre and Space Ghost Coast to Coast, absurdism, that kind of absurdism is, you know, absolutely welcome, and I love it so much. In fact, I'm hoping to do some kind of Eric Andre style stuff in the studio when I actually get that studio made in my garage, you know, breaking shit and blowing shit up and stuff like that. So I love Eric Andre. I think he's great, and I'm grinning ear to ear. I'm as happy as a clam hearing him say these statements. This is really, truly wonderful. And, you know, hey, to the Gwyneth Paltrows, to the Scarlett Johanssons, it's not too late to hop on the winning side of history, okay?
Setting the record straight. No one's talking for me. Stop weaponizing anti-Semitism. As a self-loving Jew, let me just say, permanent ceasefire, end the siege on Gaza, let Gaza live, impeach Netanyahu, fuck Raytheon, fuck Lockheed Martin, Jewish and Palestinian safety's intertwined, not in my fucking name, send them home. You do not need to cut off people's water supply in the name of Jewish safety. You do not need to bomb universities, bomb hospitals, bomb ambulances in the name of Jewish safety. You do not need to bomb children in the name of Jewish safety. Free Gucci Man, free Boosie, free Gaza. You can donate here. You can donate at unrwa.org. You can donate at Gaza Mutual Aid on Instagram. And you can donate at campusbailfunds.com. Peace and love. Love you guys.
So, hey, thank you, Eric Andre. And I'm seeing immediately in the chat, like, oh, too little, too late, too little, too late. Suck it up, okay? Suck it up.
Setting the record straight in the name of Jewish safety. You do not.
This motherfucker is a multi-millionaire celebrity, okay? Millions of people listen to him. He's putting a camera in front of him, and saying, "I'm wrong. This is where I stand. I support human rights." Take the W, lefties. Take the W, okay? The right wing will fuck children and then go to their audience and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. And they will forgive him. And I'm not saying we should do that, but I'm saying we should try to protect our own sometimes. So if out of touch, ignorant celebrities who were emotional after October 7th and put their name down on something atrocious want to come out and say, I was wrong, not in my name. I don't believe in weaponizing, you know, victimhood, and that Jewish and Palestinian safety is intertwined, and all these great arguments he's saying. 100% I support you. 100% that's great. We'll go ahead and forget that bullshit from the past, and we'll just move forward. All right? Some people deserve that, and I know I'm biased saying that because I just said I'm a huge fan of this guy, but I believe this is one of those cases, especially such strong statements. Not in my name, impeach Netanyahu, stop the siege. I love how he calls himself a self-loving Jew instead of a self-hating Jew. Very clever. You know, as a self-loving Jew, let me just say this. I think that's really clever. So once again, big props to Eric Andre. Love your show. Please, to the love of God, please like and subscribe to my thing, Eric Andre. Please, I love you. Okay. Moving on. I don't have time for this. I mean, this is important. Fuck. But these guys are so fucking boring. Okay, I'm going to find a better video for this. This is about the ICC seeks arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Hamas leaders. So it's really great. The ICC put out a statement saying You know, Israel's guilty. Hamas is guilty of a few more than Israel, but both sides guilty. Here's where we're going. You know, here are the people that need to be arrested. Now, is anything going to happen? No, of course not, because we're in a hell world, and good things don't happen. I don't mean to be that cynical, but you know what I'm saying. International law, yada yada. You know, Dick Cheney sitting comfortably. You know, you know what I'm saying. So, but what this does do is that it allows you, the activist, the political person who wants to be, you know, who wants to be on the right side of history, who wants to make sure that they're not being gaslit, that wants to, you know, that wants to tell the truth, know the truth. Yeah, Davey, I haven't seen that, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised in that. This rulings like this can help with that clarity, right? Okay, even if I'm not paying attention, you know, to every little thing and everything, this body, this international legal body, has done an investigation, and it's not just a kangaroo court. It's a legitimate investigation, taking evidence, taking statements, you know, a real honest to God investigation. Obviously, you can't get Bibi Netanyahu, you know, you can't subpoena him to come and make a statement. You can't do that to Joe Biden. So this is about as good as we're going to get in terms of international accountability for the moment. It does need to be getting better, but it's not going to be getting better until progressives take over government. That's just an honest truth. Anyway, it's bad news in that criminals continue to commit crimes. It's good news in that we have documentation that they are criminals. As close and up to a, you know, real, honest to God conviction as possible. Okay? That doesn't mean like, oh, well, okay, I can shut my brain off and shut my critical brain off and everything the ICC says is totally truthful and all that. Probably not. It's probably flawed in its own way, and there's probably all kinds of issues. But with that said, it gives us a better idea of who's guilty and of what crimes. So, thank you, ICC. I'm not surprised one bit. Fuck Hamas, and yes, fuck Netanyahu and Ben-Gvir as well. But for different reasons. Fuck them for different reasons. Come on, let's be open-minded, guys. I think the ICC sells the Westport enough for Putin since he stole all those Ukrainian children. Yes, that was the last time they came up in the news. I think you're right there, Clutch Cargo. Welcome back, Clutch Cargo, by the way. I think Kissinger's the only good thing we get this year. You think so? Yeah. I mean, even his death was, you know, bittersweet though, right? Because he was right up until his death, and then after his death, lionized as a hero and no. I mean, there was some coverage of his war crimes. There was some coverage of that, right? But of course, you know, Dana Bash, MSNBC, CNN, CBS, NBC, CNN, Fox News, of course, all the right-wing channels. Oh, he's a hero, such a diplomat. Oh, he changed everything. Yeah, Davey, sure. Here's your weekly reminder that people who are smart and eloquent and brilliant hate Joe Rogan, and for good reason. So Joe Rogan had idiot, contrarian. I don't know how else to really define Terrence Howard, but he's always been this way. Flat earther, you know, kind of kooky. Calls himself a math genius because he wrote down some equation that, you know, math people are fucking laughing at because he thinks he's a fucking genius, right? The kind of celebrity that, you know, you're rich and famous A-list celebrity. I'm not going to tell you no, and then if you do tell you no, he's going to cut you out of his life. So anyway, Jack White made a tweet about this recent interview with Joe Rogan and Terrence Howard, where they covered any number of ridiculous, stupid topics. And I just thought I'd read out what he had to say. Quote, "Hey, everyone." This is from Jack White, lead singer of the White Stripes, by the way. "Hey, everyone. Just a reminder, you should definitely be getting your facts about science and medicine from Terrence Howard and Joe Rogan. I wouldn't waste any time trusting scientists or doctors who went to universities, etc., for 12 years, getting a PhD or anything. I mean, who the fuck are we kidding, right? Intelligentsia, deep state. Nor should you trust anyone who understands what peer reviewing is, etc." So apparently there's a viral clip of Joe Rogan explaining to Terrence Howard what peer reviewing is and totally getting it wrong. I mean, it's one thing for a joker like me to do. It's another thing for Joe Rogan, who has like, you know, several million people, but he also has a staff, right? That say, oh, Joe, that's not quite right. Like, this is peer reviewing. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Jamie said it's actually this. And oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to do that. That doesn't happen on Joe Rogan. It doesn't happen as much, at least, anymore. I haven't seen any. When's the last time you've seen a viral Jamie correction clip on Joe Rogan? He seems to. Is Jamie even still working there? You seem to be like, Jamie, don't interrupt me and correct me anymore, dude. I haven't seen, at least I haven't seen any Jamie correction clips lately. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please, back to this comment, though. Nor should you trust anyone who understands what peer reviewing is, etc. It's really great that MMO Joe uses his platform in front of millions to make sure everyone gets the truth. Keep up the great work, MAGA Joe. You're helping people. He signs him Jack White III. Okay, buddy. But no, so that's what Jack White thinks about Terrence Howard's most recent interview here with Joe Rogan. And wow, what is going on with the face, man? You could bounce a quarter off that. Cosmetic surgery much? He's like 60, isn't he? He's like 50 or 60, Terrence Howard? It's Joe Rogan. My God. That's some work, homie. It looks like he's got some work done. I'm just saying. Jamie Depp still works there. Oh, okay. Terrence Howard quit Iron Man 2 because he wasn't getting paid as much as RDJ. This is whom we're dealing with. Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, that's one thing. I don't know. I disagree with that because obviously, you know, Robert Downey Jr. is more famous than than Terrence Howard. That's how it works. It's how Hollywood works. There's all kinds of women that get paid way more than their male counterparts, you know, and the shoes on the other foot. I think Emma Stone, or Emily Stone now, her real name. I think Emily Stone, you know, was pointing that out. Maybe it was her, maybe it was someone else. I don't remember. Welcome back, strategy. So just deep state level adrenochrome. You know, you don't have to even get that from Frightened Children. You can get a totally synthetic adrenochrome. You don't even need that. Like the Pizzagate guys and the adrenochrome stuff, you can totally get synthetic adrenochrome. No problem. It's not even that hard to make. Gotta get it from scared, crying children. What does Meg White think? I don't know. All right, finally. Meteor time. Yay, meteors. I'm sure you've seen this. Oh, right. There we go. I'm sure you've seen this, but the clips are absolutely amazing. Clips really are something else. Here's a scene of a concert happening in Spain. Once in a lifetime photo. Getting it from Scared Crying Children is the root with some chest hair. Oh yeah, is that that's how the real men do it? How the alpha males do it? The sigma males? I don't drink that synthetic crap. I got my own child slaves like a real man. She was my favorite. No, so their brother and sister, they pretended to be married to fuck with people or something. I don't know. No, wait, no. That's the other way around. They told people they were brother and sister to fuck with them. They used to be a couple. That's how it used to work with Jack White and Meg White. Everyone thought they were brother and sister because that's what they said, but they used to date. They no longer. So that's what's going on. Maybe they were married. That's why she has the last name. I don't know. Adrenochrome business in popular culture was pretty much started. Really? By Hunter Thompson? Really? I did not know that. But back to this meteorite photo. Can we talk about the meteorite photo? Once in a lifetime photo. The guy's, he's pulling back, you know, he's like, you know, Lenny, like, isn't this, I don't know if Lenny, if you're still here, but you're a guitar guy. Is this not one of the most epic guitar pictures? You know, I don't know who this artist is. Some guy from Spain. Right, but this is truly something else. What a shot. Davey here with a Twitter clip of the meteorite. Is it this one with the girl? Yeah. So this is the one that's going super viral. And rightfully so. It just seemed, you know, some kids, looks like Tom Morello. I wish. That would be really great if it was Rage. Thank you for sticking around, Mozambique. Appreciate the patronage over there on Kick. But, you know, kids like taking selfies and, you know, they're just like filming themselves. And they just, ironically, just so happen to be getting the perfect angle. So watch this clip. Boom. The music I could do without. But pretty epic stuff. Pretty epic stuff. Imagine, yeah, exactly. Tisrael. Yeah, no, that would be, you know, all kinds of weird prophecies and stuff would be, you know, the oracles would be busy that weekend for sure. Oh, it means this, it means that. Don't kill me, please. Your fortunes will double. Bro, it's God, I'm telling you. Oh, it's God telling you that you should be rich and famous. That's what God's saying. It's the baseball cap that makes it look like Morello. The guitarist strapped isn't high enough for Tom. Listen to these experts over here. So who is this? Let me see if I can get a name here. Meteorite over Robe concert in Precarious, Spain. Once in a life pick by David Orbacho. I think that's the photographer. I don't know who the two rock legends in this photo. Woody Amore's now at the top of his career. Woody Amore? Never heard of this guy. Girl probably got her entire career made by that moment. Maybe. I mean, she'll, you know, life career. Maybe. I got the same photos in the Northern Lights during the last event. Purple, greens, pinks. Pretty fascinating stuff. So we got even, I mean, just imagine driving down the freeway, you know, you're chilling out to your favorite tunes. Then you see this. I might pull over. I might pull over for a second if I saw this. Wow. 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 The whole sky lights up with that vibrant blue. Wow. Truly amazing. Turning night into day for just a second. One more time. The whole horizon. Wow. Yeah, someone that's a seatbelt warning, isn't it? People just ignore it. I've heard of that. People just literally like, dude, are you gonna put on your seatbelt? Oh yeah, I just ignore the beeping. Mine's been the meteor over Russia. Totally. Yeah, so that's a great one. Let me see if I can get just a couple more. Let's type meteorite or meteor into Twitter. I'm sure we'll get it. Because there's a few others that are just truly spectacular. There's another one of a girl. Whoops. She was like doing a selfie. Oh my God, please don't be any pornography. Come on. Don't be pornography, please. Oh, interesting. So the color of a meteor depends on its chemical composition. So that meteor was mostly made up of iron. Maybe some calcium too. Maybe some magnesium. That's very interesting. Thank you, Davey. So here we go. Yeah, so here we have a compilation here. So a lot of kids. I mean, she's like doing some kind of like, I don't know, future TikTok dance or something. I don't know. And she just, was that intentional? I don't think so. I think she was going to do some kind of, you know, selfie thing and just so happens to catch this once in a lifetime thing right above her head. Like right above her head too. Wow. Yeah, exactly. Woke Patriot. Pretty clear to me. Okay, so I haven't seen this clip. Whoa, dude. Wow. Okay, so this is some kind of political thing or some kind of, you know, art thing. I'm not sure. Yeah, I didn't know that either, Ace. Meteor, not meteorite. Meteorite would imply it made impact. Oh. Oh my God. Hold on. I spelled this correctly. Yeah, so it is OR. Okay. I have really bad imposter syndrome, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so we just saw this one more time. Clearly Optimus Prime. Yeah. Coming back from Cybertron. Blinding me with science. Wow. There we go. The crowd doesn't even notice that. NATO Article 5. Is that it? Is that the article where they can go in to do whatever they want? That was at the beginning of the stream, Davey. Wow. Pretty wild stuff. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Davey's clip here, and then we'll call it a day. Anderson Cooper, 360. One of the most celebrated journalists on American TV. So this one is not the one that happened recently. This is the one that happened, according to Davey, in 2013. But yeah, so interesting. We can see a different color here. We get a different chemical makeup in this one. Looks like we're getting more oranges, you know, more kind of yellows. Interesting. So maybe there's magnesium and sodium, I think is what we saw, right? From that. Let's see here. Let's go back. Yeah, so maybe it was that was the one in Russia. There was more sodium and magnesium in that one there. Definitely did not seem. Oh, maybe it's blue. I don't know, because it's daytime. It's kind of hard to see, but maybe I did see some blue reflecting. Damn, what the hell happened? Did it hit? Explodes with flash and sonic boom, causing injuries. Wow, dude, that one actually legitimately caused some damage. It exploded? Oh, shit. Holy shit. Maybe, you know, that's kind of a sign. Whoa, dude, look at that. Oh, they're all practicing kung fu and then whoa. Wow. Man. That is a sign from God. Sign from God. Russia, don't invade Ukraine. Sign from God. So by 2013, had they already invaded Crimea? They've already taken Georgia by 2013. Have they taken Crimea by then? Or is that 2014 was Crimea? They have not. Oh, you see? God clearly telling Russia that it's going to be a mistake. Don't do Crimea. Yeah, pretty clear to me. 2014. Yeah, okay. Thank you for the correction. But what does not need to be corrected is my accurate prediction that this was a sign from God for Russia to not invade Crimea. Pretty clear. Yep. Thank you so much. This is so easy being a religious guy. Is that all you have to do? Oh, you have to look out your window, point your finger, and say it was God? Is that how easy this shit is? Man, that's so awesome. I wish I was a religious grifter. That is a lot of fun. Just a little natural occurrence happens, some volcano explodes, and you'd be like, yeah, that's because people have anal sex, right? I gotcha. Got him. It's all the butt sex. Yeah, I guess you don't care about humanity. Okay, well, we've gone through all these tabs, so that's great. That's something. All right, folks, that's all I got time for today. Sorry, that's all you get. Close the tab, leave immediately. He's done. No more news time. He's done. Guy, bye, close it, click it, do something else. It's okay. I do that too. It's like when I see a YouTube video, he's like saying goodbye and doing like the credits. It's like, okay, next video. I get it. I'm very grateful to all you lurkers, to all you viewers, to all you chatters, commenters, the OGs that keep coming back. We had the trifecta of OGs. We had OG Lee, Woke Patriot, and your boy Lenny from south of Boston. The trifecta holding it down, and Woke Patriot, of course, staying to the very end. I do appreciate it. I think Lenny's there too, but he's probably doing something else. You skip movie game credits, shame on you. Not game credits, but YouTube credits. You know, oh, I'd like to thank my Patreon, Fart Sniffer 69. I like children. You know, all these stupid fucking YouTube names. You're very jovial today. I had 2 sources of sugar. I had a mango lemonade and a coffee. Thank you for noticing, Lenny. But no, big props to Lenny, Woke Patriot, Chem Goblin, Strategy Member, OG Lee, the trifecta that was in today. Big props to Davey. Thank you, Strategy Member Davey, Chem Goblin, and Woke Patriot for all of your wonderful links in the Discord. Leon, LT, whoever that person is there. Thank you for all your links. Big props to Ace Fram. Thank you, Ace Fram, for being in here. Clutch Cargo. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. No garbage fuel? Oh, I drink my garbage fuel in the morning. It's the first thing I do. I got a big brown glass of fetid, rancid garbage fuel. It's the first thing I do when I start my day. I wake up, you know, get the sleepies out of my eyes, and I slam an absolute obscene amount of liquid that has come from a dumpster. Don't remember the 4 steps. Oh, that's right. Kook and swoot. Real quick, though, before we get to that, big props to Rebel Phoenix. Big props to, once again, Ace Fram, Clutch Cargo. Make sure you like and subscribe. Tisriel. Thank you, Tisriel. Mozambique over there at Kick. Thank you, Mozambique. You got some good taste. I don't know what you're doing at Kick. Hyper Novaricus. Thank you for coming back. Well-deserved making fun of me for being incapable of pronouncing voluminous. So I totally deserve that. Thank you for keeping me in check, Hypernovaricus. Big props to, once again, Davey. Thanks again. Kissing Gonzo. The Terry. Are we having fun yet? Lovely icon. Don't even know what it means. It's frightening and intimidating, and I love it. Meth Fights. Thank you, Meth Fights, for coming in. Krail of Xanath. Big props to you. Lost Zote. Big props to you. Krail of Xanath once again. Ponder Monkey. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to Ponder Monkey, folks. Great Twitch streamer. Check out Ponder Monkey. Hey, if you're Twitch streaming, let me know. Let the chat know. Spread the love around. Matt Shadows, thanks you again, Matt Shadows. Big props to you. Ham, thank you, Ham. Big props to Ham and Matt Shadows there. Ribbons, hey, it's so great to see Ribbons coming in consistently. I do enjoy their presence. Thank you, Ribbons, for coming back once again. The True Steel. It's very cool to see the True Steel coming back. I'm glad. I hope you're enjoying it, the True Steel. Hope you're enjoying the News Underground. Thank you, the True Steel, for your comments in there. We need a morning routine video. I got to see how much garbage fuel you drink. I just wake up. Oh God. Like, yeah, exactly, Clutch Cargo. If I don't drink garbage fuel, I just morph into Seth Rogen. It's like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of thing. Hey, Rebel Phoenix is streaming again, folks. Make sure you get up on that. Come on. Like and subscribe, Rebel Phoenix. Come on. Let's get a network going. Let's get a network going. Folks, if you're still here, I'd like to remind you, I probably should have done this before my props, but no, real quick, if you are actually interested in solving some of the world's problems, I actually have a really simple solution for you. It's a 3-step program with a 4th step if you want to have fun. First step is inform yourself. You're in the politics section of Twitch, so you're doing a damn good job already. Second step, put your name down. Sign up to one of these organizations that desperately need your help, and they're out there by the thousands. Type it into Google. Step 3, I need you to put in the work like Charlie Kirk. You have to treat political activism like it's an obligation, a day job. It's not always fun, but it's essential. You have to treat your citizenship in a democracy seriously. Voting is not enough. Follow this simple 3-step program, and you're not going to solve all the world's problems, but you will be contributing some of your energy to the positive pushback against fascism, against authoritarianism. So I encourage you to do that. Encourage you to engage in political activism. Please do. Coogan Swoot streaming right now. Raid. Oh, I tried that. Yeah, I tried that last time, and I ended up looking like a huge sexist because all I want to click on is giant boobs. Okay, so we're not doing that again. No, thank you, Ham. Thank you, Clutch Cargo. Once again, it's the only thing that's ever worked. Coogan Swoot in this motherfucker. Peace in that motherfucking Middle East. Glory to the Ukrainian democracy. Peace and love. Take care of yourself. Happy Monday. Krail of Xanath is correct. You get a little mercury, but there's some positive cultures in there. Rancid yogurt, that's a lie. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you, Ace. Peace out. I'm the Joker, baby. I'm the Joker. I'm the Joker, baby. You got a Rebel? Not right now. I had to take Mama Phoenix to get a colonoscopy today, so I'm exhausted. Gross, dude. TMI. No. Get your colonoscopies, folks. If you're close to 40, if you're hovering around 40, get those colonoscopies, folks. Colonoscopies, get them early, get them soon. Catch that stuff early. Catch the cancer early, folks. Yeah, Chem Goblin. Come on. Ignore the pain. Don't be a pussy. Drink garbage fuel. Cancer fears me. Hemorrhoids. Garbage fuel fixes it all. Ignore the kidney stones. Drink garbage fuel. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you again, everybody.